Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you all so much for joining me. Welcome to the Vault Excel. This is continued information pertaining to the unaliving of a girl child. Once again, my mind is still in rotation pertaining to the case and the discrepancies of versions. And as I've always told you, pertaining to true crime, everything is a version. You're entitled to believe it or disbelieve it, or it's up to you. But I'm going to compare the discrepancies between Kayla, Adam, and the drug dealer, and the police officer that testified about the two accidents where he came in contact with both parties and children, and a Miss Tabitha Scott. Who is she? Well, the Queen's done a little digging, and I don't know if this is the right Tabitha that I found on Facebook, but she has some interesting posts as of late, and we're going to discuss all of that. And I'd like to know, are you the Tabitha that was in the car on November 29th, 2019? Because there's something very strange about this Tabitha person, because we don't hear her name mentioned in the trial. I didn't hear that Tabitha Scott testified. If she did, I'll stand corrected. Let's go to my community page to read the polls. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $Big Angie 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live. Hello, GG Cold Hearted. Thank you so much for joining me. Please take the polls, okay? Because I'd like to see how you all think, your opinions. I always give you an option of not sure in case you're undecided about the information at hand, the information that's been given. And once again, everything you hear is a version. Hello, dear. Thank you, Liplock. Here is my first question. Thank you for joining me. Did Harmony Montgomery die near Thanksgiving 2019, then reported December 7th? The reason I asked this question is because of what was said by the cop who stopped Mr. Montgomery on the 29th and the 2nd. So there's a reason why this is on my poll and why I'm doing this live stream. Because I got a feeling if I'm going to believe what the cop said in testimony, the girl child died like right after Thanksgiving, not December 7th. When I play you that audio from court, you can make up your own mind if you think she died like right after Thanksgiving, the day after, the second day after, but not a week later, okay? Because if we're going to believe the version of Kayla, believe the version of Adam, then that means the police officer that took the report, he's lying. Allegedly. You be the judge. Thank you for joining me. Did she die near Thanksgiving rather than the reported December 7th? 38% yes, 19% no, 44% of you are not sure. Okay? Death penalty for unaliving a child. 98% yes, 1% not sure. 315 votes. Thank you so much. Should there be a law to prosecute persons with knowledge of child, disabled, adult, and elderly abuse that refuse to call authorities? So this is a law. Should there be a law if a person knows of abuse to an elderly person, a child, a disabled child, or disabled adult? 94% of you said yes, there should be a law. 1% says no, 6% not sure. Does the former social worker in Harmony Montgomery's DHS case feel remorse for not removing her from the father's home? 13% said yes, 63% said no, 24% not sure. Do you think that Crystal used narcotics while pregnant with Harmony and possibly caused her eye issues? 63% of you said yes, used drugs. No, used drugs, 7%. Caused eye issues from drugs, 5%. And no drugs caused eye issues, 7%. Not sure of either, 18%. 17 hours ago, I posted, Dear God, Imagine Adam Montgomery being found not guilty and released at some point from his 30-year gun charges, and Kayla is already free. I won't doubt that they reunite. 4 commenters. Myri says, I wouldn't doubt it either. Selena says, you're probably right. True Crime Junkie says, I think Kayla would take him back, but I'm not sure he would unless she could do something for him. The Queen replies, interesting. Like what? Meaning, what is it that she would do for him? She has already helped him cover up a murder, lied about it to authorities, and then later told on him. He already knows what she is capable of doing. But hey, maybe he wouldn't want her back because she's a reminder, capital letter R, of what they both did together. Out of sight, out of mind. That's the Queen's response. Also imagine allowing people to sleep in your car and they had a dead baby inside of their luggage in your trunk. We got this information from court, but he refutes even picking them up. Mr. Dope Man saying, I didn't go get them and bring them back to my car. But Kayla says he did. So what's the truth there? Your responses. Lumpy Queen replies, there are no words, just outrage for this crime to this poor baby Harmony. She will get justice on earth and in heaven. Selena replies, just nasty, indeed. Imagine being the persons living in mom-in-law's apartment building, same unit, same floor. Hell, is she still there? Same fit shelter room. Adam and Kayla's old apartment unit and pie company workers that frequent that freezer. A lot to digest. Hello, Jeannie. Thank you, sweetheart. God bless you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. So just imagine being in that apartment building as a resident now, still. Does the mom-in-law still live there? Imagine any other apartment that was on the floor. If there was another apartment on the floor, living in that building, and then later finding out, oh my goodness, they're here taking out refrigerators and things for what reason? And then you find out a child is missing and possibly she was unalived in that apartment or stored in that apartment, in the vicinity of the apartment. And that goes for the mother-in-law's apartment and also the unit where they lived separately after leaving the mother-in-law's apartment. Thank you for joining me. All right, more questions. Let's see. Does the Fit Shelter have a check system of persons and rooms now since the Harmony Montgomery case came to light? 13% of you said yes. 19% of you said no. 25% of you said not sure. And the last option was probably will now since the court testimony has been released. 43% of you think now they may have a better supervision of their clients and checking items in the rooms since the court trial started. Does the Fit Shelter supervisor, that would be the supervisor, owner, whomever, CEO, plus the maintenance worker, regret not following up or through on the odor in Adam and Kayla's room? Because we really didn't get a definitive answer of what actually happened. We just heard a maintenance worker was called, but it's open-ended. We really don't know what was said, what was done. Was this a reason for them leaving the shelter? We don't know because nobody's explained any of that in court. So do these people have any regrets, okay, for whatever they did or didn't do? Yes, supervisor, 45%. Yes, maintenance, 13%. No, supervisor, 0%. No, maintenance, 5%. Not sure of neither, 37%. Do some or most of family and other people regret not speaking up about the abuse of Harmony by Adam? 38% most, 36% some, kind of neck to neck. None feel anything. 12%, not sure. 14%. Very interesting. That's an interesting percentage about the supervisor and the maintenance. 45% of you believe that the supervisor had remorse. Only 13% for the maintenance. Very interesting. 38% believe most of family and friends and whomever regret not speaking up. Does Adam regret leaving a witness? Speaking of Kayla, 87% yes, 6% no, 7% not sure. Does Adam regret unaliving his daughter, Harmony? 11% yes, 78% no, 11% not sure out of 98 votes. When Kayla is released from prison, will she remain drug and drama free? 5% said yes, 77% of you all said no, 18% said not sure. Did Adam tell someone else where he disposed Harmony? 20% yes, 57% no, 22% not sure. Do you think that Adam told Kayla where he disposed Harmony? Now that's a trick question. Because the first one, did he tell somebody else? You all said 20% yes. You gave 30% yes for telling Kayla. No, 47%. Not sure, 16%. Will the jury find Adam Montgomery guilty of homicide? Yes, 93%. 1% no, 6% not sure. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Yeah, Gina, I haven't seen you in a while. Gina, where you been? Just making sure I've got everything here of all the questions posed. Let's get started. Discrepancies of versions between Kayla, Adam, police officer to testify. When did the child become a victim? What day? Because you got to remember, when people are on drugs, they don't have a good memory. And perhaps these two don't remember, because we now got commentary. Adam says the 6th of December. Kayla is saying around the 7th. So which is it? And he's also taking responsibility for abuse of a corpse, but not unaliving the baby. Who unalived the child? Okay. Ooh, excuse me. All right. Here we go. It's a bit winded. Let's go over the timeline, everybody. Pay attention to what I'm reading to you, because you'll understand why I brought forward this live stream, okay? I hate these videos. They never want to upload. Okay, they're not reading it. They believe she went missing late November, early December 2019. Police did not begin their search for Harmony until December 2021, when the State Division of Children, Youth, and Families notified them of her disappearance. Harmony was born in Massachusetts, 2014. She was removed from her mother, Crystal Sorey's care 3 times before turning 4. Stay woke. And finally, in July of 2018, Sori lost custody of her daughter because of alleged neglect connected to drugs. Harmony was then placed in foster care. Eventually, in February 2019, a Massachusetts family court judge granted custody of Harmony to her father, Adam Montgomery, who lived in New Hampshire. The placement came before NHDCYF could conduct a home study. The last time Sori saw her daughter was Easter 2019 over a FaceTime call. Around November or December of 2019, Adam Montgomery's wife, Kayla Montgomery, said he planned to take Harmony to Lowell, Massachusetts. Is that true? Kayla Montgomery said this was the last time she saw Harmony, but later admitted to lying in the grand jury testimony. An affidavit stated that in an interview with police, Kayla Montgomery said Harmony died on December 7, 2019. She, Adam Montgomery, Harmony, and their two children were living in their car at the time. Kayla Montgomery said her husband became angry with Harmony because she wasn't saying she had to go to the bathroom and kept having accidents in the car. Kayla Montgomery said after each accident, Adam would allegedly punch Harmony in the face and head. On December 7th, the family was on the way to a fast food restaurant when Adam Montgomery allegedly turned around and punched Harmony 3 or 4 times. According to the affidavit, Kayla told the police, sorry, going a little fast, that Harmony began making a moaning noise for about 5 minutes and then stopped. So she's claiming this unaliving of the child happened on December 7th. Just remember that. At no time did anyone stop to get Harmony medical attention as a result of this assault, police said in the affidavit. The affidavit said Kayla and Adam Montgomery allegedly discovered Harmony was dead when their car broke down later that day. According to the affidavit, Kayla Montgomery said Adam Montgomery put Harmony's body in a duffel bag. That started a months-long process of moving Harmony's body to various locations in Manchester, according to the affidavit. Kayla Montgomery said Adam Montgomery used U-Haul to take the remains somewhere in the spring of 2020 and deliberately didn't tell her where he was going in case there was an investigation. Okay, I already read that. Sorry about that. When a person close to Sori contacted DCYF in September 2021, the department attempted to locate the girl. Who was that person that did that on behalf of Crystal? DCYF, oh Lordy, jumped off. Sorry about that. These things move so fast, these articles. I'm gonna have to read it down here myself because it's that information jumped off too quick. 1 second, everybody. I can barely read this. This stuff is so fine. Let me see if I can go back up here and read it again. Oh, of course. Yeah, it's horrible. The information is horrible. One second, I'm waiting until I get near the end. Hard to believe. She was taken from her mother 3 times. That's a lot of times. Before turning 4. By the age of 4, rather. I'm waiting for the video to roll so I can finish reading the last part. Not a speed reader. Hey, Stardust. Hey, everybody in the chat. Hippie. Fiona. So we're going to jump to where she's being hurt. Kayla says the husband became angry with Harmony because she wasn't saying when she had to go to the bathroom and kept having accidents in the car. Kayla Montgomery said after each accident, Adam Montgomery would allegedly punch Harmony in the face and head. And there was somebody in the chat the other day that was curious to that, about the timeline, and he said that Kayla said she went that morning, then that afternoon. See, what you got to remember, these are drug addicts, so you really can't take what they're saying at face value. There's going to be some truth to what she has to say, probably a little truth to whatever he had to say, but I don't think you're going to really know the whole truth of everything. Because this is crazy saying she got punched in the head after each accident. Well, why didn't you change her? So I understand what that person was saying. If you notice she used the bathroom, you can smell it on her. Wouldn't it make sense to just go stop the car, change the child, put her in some clean undergarments, clean clothes? Then that means you weren't changing her. So whether she told them I've got to go to the bathroom or not, you still weren't changing her. So really you're telling on yourself. Because you all cared more about drugs anyway. So nobody's going to really believe you're in a car. You're going to keep running to the bathroom every time the kids got to go to the bathroom. The smaller ones would have been wearing diapers. So she wouldn't be wearing a diaper. So that means you all would have to go out to go to the bathroom anyway. At some point, all of you, the 2 adults and the 5-year-old child. It's very bizarre information. On December 7th, the family was on the way to a fast food restaurant when Adam Montgomery allegedly turned around and punched Harmony 3 or 4 times, according to the affidavit. Now, this is Kayla's version, of course. Kayla Montgomery told the police that Harmony began making a moaning noise for about 5 minutes, and then she stopped. At no time did anyone stop or get Harmony medical attention as the result of this assault, police said in the affidavit. The affidavit said Kayla and Adam Montgomery allegedly discovered Harmony was dead when their car broke down later that day. Is that true? I don't know if I believe that or not. And the reason why I say this is because if you believe the police's account from November 29th, which would have been a week beforehand, he stopped them. There was a car wreck or some type of car incident, and this other young lady was in the car, a Tabitha Scott. Tabitha was in the passenger seat. Adam was in the driver's seat. Kayla was in the back seat. Make that make sense. And the 2 younger children were in the back, and there is no mention of Harmony Montgomery. Let me repeat that. November 29th, 2019, 5 people were in a car wreck, okay? The police took notes of all the names of the individuals in the car, and nowhere in the report in testimony last week was the mention of Harmony Montgomery. Not another girl child, not another child. So make it make sense. Why was this Tabitha person in the front seat of the car? And why is there no mention of the girl child in the car November 29th if we're supposed to believe she died on December 7th? So somebody's lying. Either Kayla's lying and don't remember, either one, don't remember or lying, or the cop forgot there was a child in there. And where would she be since they're all homeless at this time? Make it make sense. Exactly, Kelly Mack. She was already deceased right after Thanksgiving. Now, remember what the mother-in-law said? Oh, I saw her. She was here. She was kind of quiet. Do we know that's for sure? Stay woke. Because everybody who's testified close to them don't remember seeing her later on in 2019, the late months like November, December. The only person that puts her near Thanksgiving up until December is the mother-in-law, Kayla's mother. Could the mother be lying? Could she have already died way before? Never made it to Thanksgiving with them? Could the mother be lying, saying she saw that little girl, but she didn't? Because how do you go from saying December 7th or 6th, we unalived her, or I watched, but a cop has a report from November 29th because this guy's wrecked the car 2 times in a week. November 29th, wreck 1. December 2nd, wreck 2. And in wreck 1, there are 5 people in the car. No girl. Somebody else reports not seen her since October. What's the damn difference? You say he punched her. He says, oh, my wife did it. So you don't know when she was murdered. Stay woke now. Could it be she was unalived in October or November? We don't have anything to compare anything to. No bones, no remains to say when she was unalive or how she was unalive. This is deep, this story pertaining to this girl child. Because I got a feeling she may have been long gone before Thanksgiving. Okay? And then that means the mother of Kayla is not telling the truth. And imagine if she's lying and covering to say, oh, yeah, I saw them Thanksgiving. Hot damn. I just thought about something. Hot damn. Oh, my God. Please follow me. The mother said they were here Thanksgiving. Well, they were homeless Thanksgiving, were they not? So why would they go to your house for Thanksgiving to go sleep in a car in the parking lot where their friend lived that told them not to stay there? And then he allegedly said he did bring them food for 2 days. But you allegedly just left your mother's house for Thanksgiving. Wouldn't you get takeout from her house? Something's off. Something's off. See, this is why you always have to go back and listen to the versions given by the suspects and listen to the versions of anybody else that says they saw the child, because I believe we have more than one liar here. Yes, it's not adding up. Why would I not tell my mother that I'm sleeping in a car? Why would I not tell her that? It's Thanksgiving. It's the time for gathering. Why would I want to leave the warmth of an apartment with running water, heat, food to go sleep in my car? So now you got to get the exact date of when they were evicted from the house. Okay? So what? They got evicted from the house what? Thanksgiving Day, the day before? Help me understand. Because something doesn't add up. Somebody claims they didn't see her in October. Who is that person? Because I've read that. And then why am I going to go to my mother's house if I'm already evicted and not tell her the truth, to eat, pretend to be married, and then go sleep in a car with my kids? Then we got the dope dealer acting like he didn't go help them take the stuff out of their car and put it in his car. But we have the tow guy that says 2 men were getting stuff out of the car at a gas station. He drove to the gas station with their vehicle, and their friend, the dope dealer, allegedly took the stuff out and helped them out to put the stuff in his car, the same car they claim they slept in. But when he testifies, he says, I don't remember doing that. Either way, Harmony's not here. So I don't know why everybody's making up all this extra shit when we already put together she's not here. So what difference does it matter? December 2nd, November 29th, November 27th, October 1st. What's the difference? Dead is dead. Help me understand. Dead is dead. So according to the affidavit, Kayla Montgomery said Adam put Harmony's body in a duffel bag. It's weird stuff. That started a months-long process of moving her body around locations in Manchester, according to the affidavit. Kayla Montgomery said Adam Montgomery used a U-Haul to take the remains somewhere in the spring of 2020 and deliberately didn't tell her where he was going in case there was an investigation. Is that true? Don't know. When a person close to Surrey contacted DCYF in September 2021, the department attempted to locate the girl. Now, that's a whole year and a half later. Because you got to remember, they got their apartment in February 2020. So somebody on behalf of Surrey, Crystal, the mother, contacted the Department of Human Services. That's a year and a half later. So this doesn't sound like somebody who's searching for their child, because naturally you can't make the child appear. You can't make Adam respond. You couldn't make Kayla respond. And then they're going from place to place. This girl wouldn't know where to look anyway. She's been by the house. She's been by the schools, blah, blah, blah. But we also have to use deduction. The state has taken Harmony from this same mother, the same allegedly concerned mother, 3 times. That's too many times. That's too many times. DCYF could not locate Harmony, but eventually detectives found Adam living in his car with his new girlfriend, December 31st, 2021. The FBI joined Manchester police to search the property where Montgomery used to live, January 4th, 2022. The same day, Adam Montgomery is arrested on charges of assault, interference with custody, and endangering the welfare of a child. Oh, Lord, I done messed up. I keep jumping off this video for some reason. I'm just going to read it verbatim because me and this video, we're having issues. Thank you so much for joining me. Bringing you a timeline of events allegedly, according to these 2 demons and the mother. You're entitled to believe whatever version you want to believe because somebody's not telling the truth in this story. And I think mostly everybody's lying. I'm just going to go on the record and say that. Investigators believe Harmony Montgomery was killed in early December 2019 when she was 5 years old. Her disappearance was first reported more than 2 years later. Anyone with information is urged to call the 24-hour tip line 603-932-8997. Let's start at the beginning. Thank you everybody coming into the chat. It's fine print. I can barely read this stuff. Harmony is born to Crystal Sorey, sole caretaker, June 2014, while Mr. Montgomery was in prison. August 2014 to January 2018, Harmony is removed from Sorey's care 3 times because of neglect, related to drug use, according to the Massachusetts report. Harmony visits her father in prison twice in January and July of 2015. September 2015, Adam Montgomery is released from prison and moves to New Hampshire. September 2016. 1 year after his release, Adam Montgomery contacts the Massachusetts Department of Children and Family for the first time to resume visits with his daughter. Was he genuine? Gotta ask. Because from August 2014 through January 2018, that's 4 years on and off, she's going back and forth with the mother. So is this a reason why he reached out? Because see, it says he reached out 1 year after his release. He contacts the Massachusetts Department of Children. So that means she was in the state's care in 2016, and she was born June of 14. So at this point, she's 2. So he's reaching out to get visits in September 2016. Now let's jump a whole year. Okay. February 17, or a couple of months rather. After visiting with Harmony once per month for 5 months, Adam Montgomery stops responding to DCF requests for future meetings. So why did he stop after a few months? You've contacted these people because they got your kid. A few months into visiting her, he stops after 5 months. Make it make sense now. Okay, August 2018. So now there's a whole year. February 17th to August 2018, that's a whole year and a half. Adam Montgomery meets with Harmony for the first time in 11 months and the 9th time in her life. He has contacted DCF in September 2017 after a 7-month period with no contact. So it's back and forth between she and the father while she's in state's care, also with the mother too, the biological mother. July 2018. Crystal Sorey, mother of Harmony Montgomery, loses custody of her daughter in Massachusetts. Sorey later tells police she lost custody because of drug addiction issues, and Harmony was placed in a foster home in Haverhill. Now we're going to December 19. This is July to December 2018. The Massachusetts Department of Children and Families requests home study by New Hampshire Division of Children, Youth, and Families at the Montgomery's home in Manchester. The request did not include the necessary information to initiate a home study, the New Hampshire officials say. So that's December of 2018, December 19th. February 2019, Harmony's father, Adam, is granted custody of the girl by a family court judge in Lawrence, Massachusetts. DCYF officials are notified of the custody decision before it's received the additional information requested for the home study. So this means proper etiquette did not transpire on behalf of I guess New Hampshire, because this is where he was living in order to get the kid. So Massachusetts or whoever, they didn't do their job. Somebody didn't do the damn job. Let me read that again. It says, Adam is granted legal custody of the girl by a family court judge in Lawrence, Massachusetts. So it's Massachusetts that didn't follow through. Okay. DCYF officials are notified of the custody decision before it receives the additional information required by the home study. Now we're going into Easter 2019. Sorey says she spoke to the daughter on a FaceTime call around this time. She says this was the last time she saw Harmony. Can that be proven? Just asking. Fast forward now, we're into July 29, 2019. DCYF receives an anonymous call alleging abuse. The caller says Harmony had a black eye when the caller visited her Guilford Street home in Manchester the week before. A child protective service worker visits the home and emails Manchester police to say no eye injury was observed. Repeat. Child protective service worker visits the home and emails Manchester police to say no eye injury was observed. Allegedly, this was the uncle of Adam that made the anonymous call. We learned through court documents last week of his identification. But what's discrepancy in this is Adam says he left in the spring from that same house, turning off power, this and that, whatever the reason. So why would he wait months later to call on him? I'm curious. So did he actually see the girl's eye black? And why would he wait months to do it if I'm going to believe Adam's version that he left in the spring? Because he said he left around March or April. It's very strange. Okay, here we go. So July, the social worker tells the police he didn't see an eye injury. This is crazy. October 7th, 2019. This is a new month later. A child protective service worker visits the home again and interviews Harmony and Adam and Kayla Montgomery. So was he the same worker that went by the next month? Because we never heard it was another worker. The worker notes a red mark in Harmony's eye and faded bruising under her eyelid. Adam Montgomery says the mark was caused when she was struck by a toy while playing with a sibling. The caseworker also speaks to Sori, who tells the agency she lost custody of Harmony to Adam Montgomery. So this is August. So this is strange now. We have July 29th, and then, of course, a week later will be August 7th. Naturally, the eye would have healed. Duh. October 1st, 2019. The final visit from a child protective service worker to the Guilford Street house, the worker reports the children appeared happy and healthy. The assessment concludes that the report of abuse was unfounded, but the family was at high risk for future child welfare concerns. So the concerns would possibly be because there's no water, no heat, no whatever, house in disarray, probably filthy, nasty. But as I've learned here in Tennessee, they don't necessarily take your children because your house is a camp. So this is what's baffling. No big deal about the eye in July. Go by the house August, first week in August. Leave the kids there. And then you take a final visit 2 months later, October, and say there's no abuse found. But the kids are at high risk for welfare concerns. This makes no sense. So is this why he waited months later to call Adam in January of 2020? I'm confused. November or December 2019. Fast forward another month to two. According to Kayla Montgomery, Adam Montgomery told her around this time that he was taking Harmony to Lowell, Massachusetts, where her mother lives. Kayla Montgomery later tells police that this is the last time she saw Harmony. January 8th, 2020. A referral is received by DCYF about the Montgomery household. Adam Montgomery tells the child protective service worker that Harmony is living with her mother in Massachusetts and has been since Thanksgiving 2019. January 21, 2020. The child protective service worker leaves a voicemail for Suri to confirm Harmony's address. Officials say Suri did not return the call. So how many more times did he call Suri? Because we hear him testifying to this in court last week. How many times did he call her? Because he never said in court. Just that she didn't answer or respond, rather. Now, we go from that January 21, 2020. He left a message for Crystal, the worker. We're now into September 2021. It's a whole year and a half later. A person close to Suri contacted DCYF and raises concerns that Suri hasn't seen Harmony since 2019. DCYF confirms Harmony has never been registered for school in Manchester. DCYF attempts to locate the Montgomery family. It's September 2021. Now, 2 months later, November 18, 2021, Suri calls Manchester police saying she hasn't seen her daughter since Easter 2019. FaceTime Manchester police, an Easter 2019 FaceTime call. Manchester police say their phone records indicate this is the only call the department has received from Suri. Are you hearing that? The police department says November 18th, 2021, they didn't know anything about a child missing. And this is their first call from the mother pertaining to the daughter missing. We hear she wrote the mayor. She called DHS, I guess, where she lived, Manchester. She went to the schools in Manchester. She went to the house where they live. But the police is saying, this is our first time hearing from her directly. Is that the truth? Now, next month, 2021, December 27th, DCYF notifies Manchester police. They are unable to locate Harmony. Police start search for Harmony's father. December 29th, 2021. Suri sends a letter to the Manchester mayor, Joyce Craig, begging for help. Okay, so this is just the end of December that she contacts the mayor. So she didn't contact the mayor any other time. Just after the police contact in November of 21. This is very weird. Okay. So we go from December 29th, 21, contacting the mayor by Crystal. December 31st, 2021, 2 days later, detectives find Adam Montgomery living in his car with his new girlfriend. Police describe him as uncooperative and refusing to provide information on Harmony's whereabouts. Police also interview Kayla Montgomery. Now, where was she at? January 3rd, 2022. A 24-hour tip line is set up. Anyone with information is asked to call 603-203-6060. A reward fund eventually grows to $144,000. The line is later changed to 603-932-8997. January 4th, 2022, next day. The FBI joins Manchester police to search the Guilford Street property, where the Montgomerys used to live. Nothing is found in the 2-day search that includes digging the backyard. January 4th, same day, 2022. Adam Montgomery is arrested and charged with second-degree assault, interference with custody, and endangering the welfare of a child. 2 days later, January 6th. Kayla Montgomery is arrested and charged with felony welfare fraud. The charge is later dropped and a new felony charge of theft is filed. February 25th, 2022. A report is released by Governor Chris Sununu. Officers releasing new details in the investigation and making recommendations for new protections for children in custody disputes. March 13, 2022. Kelsey Small, a woman who was dating Mr. Adam Montgomery before his arrest, is found dead in Manchester. She did not face charges in connection with the case, and her death wasn't considered suspicious, they said. April 4th, 2022. Adam Montgomery is arrested on new charges of theft by unauthorized taking for allegedly stealing a rifle and shotgun. 2 charges of receiving stolen property for allegedly receiving or retaining the rifle and the shotgun. 2 charges of felon in possession for allegedly possessing the rifle and the shotgun for having been convicted of 1 or more qualifying felonies, and 2 charges of armed career criminal for allegedly possessing the rifle and the shotgun after having been convicted of 3 or more qualifying felonies. Investigators say the alleged thefts occurred between September 29th and October 1st, 2019 in Manchester. April 12th, 2022. Kayla Montgomery, 31, is charged with 2 counts of receiving stolen property in connection with the alleged theft of firearms. Investigators again say there is no evidence that the charges are related to Harmony's disappearance. May 4th, 2022. A report from the Massachusetts Office of Child Advocate is released. The report outlines several mistakes Massachusetts agencies allegedly made regarding the girl's care before she lived in New Hampshire and eventually disappeared. May 7th, 2022, Kayla Montgomery is released from jail where she was held for 4 months. She was ordered to check in with Manchester police daily and continue with substance abuse treatment. She's also ordered to not have any contact with Adam Montgomery or to leave New Hampshire. June 3rd, 2022. Kayla Montgomery is arrested for perjury charges. She is accused of lying during grand jury testimony about when and where she was at work during the window of that time that Harmony Montgomery was last seen and accounted for. She was released from jail 3 days later. That makes no sense. June 14th through the 15th. Officials searched Adam Montgomery's and Kayla Montgomery's former apartment, hauling a fridge out. Investigators were assisted by a sewer plumbing team. Sources told News 9 that new credible information from a person close to the investigation led to the search of the apartment. That would possibly be Kayla. August 11, 2022. Attorney General John Formella says investigators now believe that Harmony was killed in early December 2019. He said the investigation now a homicide investigation. September 9th, Kayla Montgomery is arrested on a bench warrant after the failure to show up for a hearing. Her bail is revoked September 13th. October 4th, body camera footage obtained by News 9 investigates shows the first interaction between Manchester police and Adam Montgomery. October 20th, some of the evidence prosecutors hope to introduce in Adam Montgomery's firearms trial can't be admitted, a judge rules. Why not? What happened there? October 24th, 2022. Attorney General John Formella announces that Adam Montgomery has been arrested and charged with second-degree murder in the death of Harmony Montgomery. Court documents show Kayla Montgomery told investigators about the killing of Harmony in June. Okay? So her second bout with the law enforcement is what made her tell on Adam. November 18th, 2022. Kayla Montgomery pleads guilty to 2 felony counts of perjury. The charges Kayla Montgomery took responsibility for are not related to the disappearance or death of her stepdaughter, Harmony. Under the plea agreement, Kayla Montgomery has agreed to fully cooperate in future state proceedings, which could include testifying in Adam Montgomery's murder trial. November 22nd, 2022. It is decided at a hearing that Adam Montgomery's separate trials regarding a stolen weapon case and his daughter's killing will take place in 2023. January 26, 2023. Adam Montgomery is indicted by a grand jury on a charge of second-degree murder in the killing of his daughter, Harmony. April 6, 2023. In a report, the Massachusetts Office of the Child Advocate expressed concerns officials aren't doing enough to consider what's in the best interest of the child during custody cases after the Harmony Montgomery case led to calls for change. April 7th, Massachusetts police, Manchester police, Manchester police, Massachusetts State Police, and other law enforcement agencies search wetlands along Route 107 in Revere. Okay. The New Hampshire Attorney General's office confirms the search is in connection with Harmony Montgomery case. So did he dispose of the child in the wetlands? I don't know. But something came about for them to go out there. June 5th, Kayla Montgomery testifies at Adam Montgomery's weapons trial. She tells jurors that her husband, told her he had stolen guns. The defense presses her, saying she has changed her story over time. June 8th, Adam Montgomery is found guilty of all counts in his weapons trial, the most serious charges being an armed career criminal, carry minimum sentence of 10 years in prison. June 20th, an affidavit released detailing the investigation of Harmony Montgomery's death. It shows that police believe Adam Montgomery punched her several times in the face on December 7, 2019, killing her. It goes on to describe ways in which Adam Montgomery allegedly hid her body. August 7th. Adam Montgomery is sentenced to decades in prison in his weapons trial case. Montgomery makes a statement before he's sentenced, urging the judge not to consider the charges he's facing in Harmony's death. I did not kill my daughter, Harmony, and I look forward to my upcoming trial to refute those offensive claims, he said. He also talks about his struggles with addiction. I could have had a meaningful life, and I blew that opportunity through drugs. But I love my daughter unconditionally, and I did not kill her. Harmony's mother, Crystal Surrey, is in the courtroom during sentencing and says she didn't believe Montgomery. He wants people to feel sympathy for him, she said. He's trying to be a victim. February 6th. Oh, Lord, it's so much. Jury selection in the murder trial begins. A pool of potential jurors is whittled down to 27, but the final pool of 17, 12 who will be seated and 5 alternates, was not picked before court closed for the day. Adam Montgomery appeared upbeat during process, even smiling at times. February 7th, this is this year. Adam Montgomery waives his right to appear in court, though he may decide to appear on future days. It's crazy. After jurors leave the courtroom to prepare to tour various locations related to the trial, Adam Montgomery tells the judge via WebEx that his attorneys will acknowledge his guilt on 2 of the charges: falsifying physical evidence and abuse of a corpse during the defense team's opening statement. Judge Amy Messer asked Adam Montgomery if he understood that by admitting to these 2 offenses during opening statement that the jury would likely find him guilty on those charges. He said he did understand. February 8th, lawyers from both sides deliver opening statements describing what they believe the evidence will show. Opening statement by prosecutors is graphic, containing details about what they believe Adam Montgomery did. Defense attorneys acknowledged that Adam Montgomery helped hide Harmony's body, but they said his estranged wife, Kayla Montgomery, was the last person to see the girl alive. After opening statements, Harmony's mother, Crystal Surrey, testifies describing her daughter as a smart little girl who was talkative and friendly. February 9th and 12th of this year, Kayla Montgomery testifies for more than 6 hours on that Friday. Reread that. Kayla testifies for more than 6 hours Friday, February 6th, and a few more hours the following Monday, recounting what she described as her husband's spiral into rage and paranoia after his daughter died. Kayla Montgomery tells jurors that after Harmony was killed, Adam Montgomery's rage turned to her. The court sees a photo of Kayla Montgomery with 2 black eyes as she testifies that he started breaking everything in the hours looking for hidden surveillance equipment. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. The print is so fine, I can barely see. During cross-examination, the defense attorneys tried to poke holes in Kayla Montgomery's version of what happened to Harmony. While prosecution says Adam Montgomery killed the daughter after becoming angry about her having, toileting accidents, in the car they were living in. The defense has put forth alternate versions, suggesting that Kayla Montgomery had a hand in Harmony's death. Defense attorney Carolyn Smith floated the idea that Harmony died at some point early in the morning when Adam Montgomery wasn't in the car, something Kayla Montgomery repeatedly denied. Sorry it took me so long reading that. It was so, the print so fine, and I didn't bring my glasses out here. WMUR is the source for that information. It's pretty winded, but it gives you a good timeline, allegedly, of what happened to the girl child. Now, let's go to NBC Boston. See what they have to say. Thank you all so much for joining me. Adam Montgomery's mother-in-law testified Tuesday in Harmony Montgomery's murder trial. Christina Lubin, the mother of Adam's estranged wife, Kayla Montgomery, testified that she met Harmony, only once, shortly after Thanksgiving 2019 at her home after her daughter and her family had been evicted from their apartment. See, there we have it right there. Say it again, Queen. Kayla's mother says that she only met the child once after Thanksgiving 2019 at her home, after her daughter and her family had been evicted from. So that means they got evicted before they went to the mother's house for Thanksgiving. I'm going to bet the mother is lying as well, because the cop says on November 29th, he didn't see a little girl in that damn car. Okay? He did not see a little girl. He saw 5 people in that car November 29th. So that's 2 days after Thanksgiving. So now I'm supposed to believe that the cop is lying too. The cop don't know a girl from a boy. Adam front seat. Tabitha Scott, passenger seat. Kayla in the back seat. 2 little boys, back seat. 5 people. There's no mention of a girl child in the car. November 29th. So where was Harmony November 29th? So how do we go from November 29th, no girl child in the car at some type of wreck they had, and then you go all the way to a week later, December 7th, and you're saying this is the day that he took her life? Well, then where was Harmony November 29th? A week before, where was she? Because the mother is saying, oh, I saw her. She came to the house. She was quiet. She didn't talk much. But let Sori say she talked a lot. So I said, well, maybe she was just fearful of the father, scared to talk because he was mean, nasty. But what if that's not the situation? What if, like I said, she's been dead? Because that's where this looks like this is going. They got the timeline wrong. Yeah, the mother had to be lying, because he testified, looked in his notes. He said, the reason why I remember Adam, December 7th incident or whatever, it's because, or December 2nd rather, it's because I just saw him days before on November 29th, where it was only 5 people in the car. This is pivotal. Because my thing is, if you're going to spin the web that he is the one that unalived the girl child, why do you need to lie about the damn date that he did it? The 2nd of December, the 7th, November 27th, November 10th. What's the difference? Death is death. Isn't that going to make a difference on what's the day that she died? Now, I'm not trying to be too technical, but it makes sense. Something is off. And if we've got legal documents of a police report, November 29th and then December 2nd, with the man's signature, actual citations given to Mr. Adam, the cop has no reason to lie about not seeing a little girl. He doesn't know that she's dead. He doesn't know she even exists. So he would have no reason to make it up. And then you're talking about an investigation didn't start 2 years later. So the cop has no reason to lie about not seeing Harmony in the car. He don't know these people. Kristen, I'm coming for you now, sister. I guess I got to make a video about you now. Why are you lying? Why are you lying? You're saying you saw the little girl Thanksgiving. Because somebody else is saying they ain't seen her since October. Ding. You didn't see her Thanksgiving, did you? You know why? Because a light bulb went off while I'm sitting here talking. If they've already been evicted, why are they going to go leave your house where it's warm to go sleep in a car for 2 days? And they go stay at the aunt's house. And then the aunt calls you to say, oh, they're homeless. Da, 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 da. So what you telling me? She didn't tell you she was homeless Thanksgiving? So she ate with you. All the kids ate. Harmony, the 2 boys, Adam, and then they went and left that happy, cozy apartment to go sleep in a car for 2 days. That's what I'm supposed to believe. I'm not saying it didn't happen like that, but in order for me to believe that, then that means the cop is a liar. So who should I believe? Adam, Kayla, a dope dealer, and the cop. It ain't saying the cops don't lie, but in this case, this ain't about drugs and the cop, crooked cops getting dope, money, heroin. This is just about a traffic stop. Miss Lubin, you got some explaining to do. That's why you didn't want to talk to Court TV last week when you walked out of court, ain't it? Did you hear me? That's why you didn't want to talk to Court TV last week. See, I'm not a police officer, but I do try to pay attention. And although I have not followed every testimony in this trial, I just kind of came in. Next week, second week. But I must say, the bells are going off. Ding, 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 ding. Kayla can't remember or she lying. And you, ma'am, are lying. You did not see Harmony at your house. Because in order for you to have seen her, the cop is lying. And somebody in this trial need to wrap it on up and say, well, somebody's lying. Because now I got to sit here and say to myself, they ate at your house and didn't tell you they were homeless. They sat in the car for 2 days after Thanksgiving and then went and talked to the auntie. And then she called you over to say, well, I need to go ahead and tell you they're homeless. They don't got nowhere to stay. Can they stay with you? They really need a place. But they was just at your house Thanksgiving. So that's what I'm supposed to believe. They ate with you, but didn't tell you they were homeless. Okay. Okay. Once again, mom-in-law testified that she only saw the girl once shortly after Thanksgiving, 2019, at her home after her daughter and her family had been evicted from their apartment on Guilford Street. She said they came to stay with her for a longer period of time later that month, but Harmony wasn't with them. So later that month means what? December? Because later that month, you only have a few more days in the month after the 27th, ma'am. So you mean they came to stay with you the 29th? Help me understand. November 30th, which is it? But you do admit Harmony wasn't with them. So this is what's funny. Harmony wasn't with them. Harmony visited your house on Thanksgiving, but then they only came a few days later without Harmony. Okay. I picked them up at my sister's place. She said they had nowhere to go. Lubin said she often left money for her daughter and her family inside a red cooler in the hallway of her apartment, which she identified in the court on Tuesday. Kayla Montgomery told investigators that Harmony's body was kept in a red cooler the entire time they stayed with her mother until the end of December. So they were with you a whole month, and you want us to believe the little girl wasn't smelling in the hallway in the cooler, ma'am? Help me understand, Miss Lubin. They were with you, but they were too honorary to tell you they were homeless. So 2 days later, they go talk to the auntie, and then the auntie tells you they're homeless, and you take them all in, and the baby's outside your door in a duffel bag in a cooler for 1 whole month. Let me say that again. Allegedly, she's in a cooler in the hallway, in a duffel bag, in a cooler, in a duffel bag, in a cooler, duffel bag, cooler, 1 month. And she doesn't stink. She's not leaking. She doesn't smell. And you stupidly told the court that the cooler's right outside my door. So every day you're going in and out, going to work, you don't smell a corpse in a cooler. Really? Just saying. I don't smell anything. I even put money in there when they need money. Even the district attorney thought you was damn crazy when you said that. Like, well, don't other people use the cooler? Are you hearing yourself? You put money in the cooler when the little girl wasn't dead, as if nobody could pick up the cooler and steal the money out of the cooler, or take the cooler to use and put ice or something in it. Just imagine the neighbor picked up the cooler, wanting to use it. Voila, there's a baby in a duffel bag. Make it make sense, lady. Kayla. You all this doped up that you would have this baby in a duffel bag in a cooler where anybody could have just been nosy, took the cooler, steal the cooler. Damn, that's a nice cooler right there. Let me get it. Other people steal too, Adam. Are y'all hearing this bullshit? 1 month, you say, mother. So for 1 month, what were they doing? Spraying air freshener out in the hallway? You didn't walk by the cooler saying, damn, something stink. What does that smell? Thank you, Shirley. You wouldn't happen to know the baby's in the cooler now, would you, Miss Lubin? I'm just saying. I ain't one to gossip. Just make it make sense to the queen. Because I finished the 12th grade. Unlike all them folks that testified. Most of them didn't finish school. They got GEDs. Do you know something, Miss Lubin, that we don't know? Help us understand. Because I got a feeling you lied about that little girl. I don't think you saw her. Yeah. I don't think you saw her because the cop has no reason to lie because he didn't know what the fuck was going on when he stopped him those 2 times in 2019. He didn't know anything. Nobody knew but those two, Kayla and Adam. So he has no reason to write in his police report, omit seeing Harmony. Because she was already dead November 29th. So I'm trying to understand why they wouldn't have told you they were homeless Thanksgiving. I'm not saying they couldn't have waited 2 days. Maybe they did. But where the lie comes in, Kayla says the girl died December 7th. The cop says he pulled him over 2 times, 3 days. In November 29th, there was no little girl in the back seat. So that's before December 7th. I want to make sure everybody understands what I'm saying. So she couldn't have died December 7th. She had to have died either near Thanksgiving, the 27th, 28th, 29th, or before. It's crazy. Here we go. Luba said she left money for her daughter and her family inside the red cooler in the hallway of her apartment, which she identified in court on that Tuesday. Kayla Montgomery told investigators that Harmony's body was kept in the red cooler the entire time they stayed with her mother until the end of December 2019. Lubin also testified about various tools she keeps at her home and she uses to refurbish and flip furniture, including a table saw, circular saw, band saw, and miter saw. Well, my, you're crafty. When asked by defense attorney Carolyn Smith about when she met Harmony, Lubin said the little girl was wearing glasses and had pigtails in her hair. She said Harmony didn't talk much and they were there very briefly. She said she looked healthy but didn't talk much while she was there. So what they come over there for then? To get some money? Jurors also heard Tuesday from Adam Montgomery's friend Anthony Badero. Was he a character? He told jurors he provided Adam's family with a car to stay in temporarily after they were evicted from their apartment and their own car died. Adam is accused of killing his 5-year-old daughter, Harmony, December 2019. Badero said he saw Adam every few days back in 2019 and has also known Adam's estranged wife, Kayla Montgomery, for over a decade. Very interesting. He said he first met Adam in 2019 through a friend when he needed someone to drive him to court. When they arrived to pick him up, Harmony and Kayla's 2 young boys were in the car. Now, this is earlier, 2019. The last time I saw Harmony was the second and last time I ever saw her. And that was about 3 weeks to a month after the August incident. I saw her with them where they resided at. But Darryl said he regularly sold drugs to both Adam and Kayla back in 2019. He said he sold heroin and crack to them whenever I had any available. He said they would pay in either cash or food stamps. Prosecutors asked him about the period after Thanksgiving weekend 2019 when Badero said they approached him and they had no place to live, and he told them they could stay in his vehicle for 2 days. He said Adam, Kayla, and 2 young boys were there. There was no sign of Harmony. Badero said he rarely saw Adam and Kayla during those days, but they were always together. So, what makes no sense? He says, I rarely saw them during those 2 days. Hold on a minute. Got to reread something. Something's. I thought he said he saw them. Hold on a minute, you all. Their car died. Okay. So here you go. He did say, okay, I saw them every few days back in 2019. Okay. So go down farther. He says he rarely saw Adam and Kayla during those 2 days, but they were always together. That's what he told the prosecutor. He brought them Domino's pizza on the second night. So he had leftover Thanksgiving dinner one day, and then he gave him a Domino's pizza on the second night. Defense attorneys tried to cast doubt on Badero's testimony for the prosecution by highlighting his criminal record and history of selling drugs. Tuesday's testimony began with Manchester police officer Neil Penton. On the stand, he testified about 2 crashes. Stay woke. Stay woke. Here we go. Officer Penton says there were 2 crashes he responded to. November 29th and December 2nd, 2019, where Adam Montgomery was one of the drivers. The second witness to testify on Tuesday was Matthew Gendron, a former co-worker of Adam and his estranged wife, Kayla Montgomery, at the Dunkin' on Beach Street in Manchester. He testified that he was Facebook friends with both of them and would initiate conversations with them every week or so. December 8th, 2019, the day after prosecutors say Harmony was killed, Gendron said he was no longer working at Dunkin' when he received a series of Facebook messages after midnight from Adam saying, "Hey, need help ASAP, please. Need a jump and jumper cables ASAP. I need a jump," he said in a short time later. "My car died. We've been sleeping in our car and the battery just died." Gendron responded that he didn't have jumper cables and received another message saying, "This is Kayla. Will you bring me to the store to get them? To get them? I'll give you gas money. We will literally die tonight." Gendron said Adam and Kayla shared the Facebook account, which that's strange. You don't keep a phone, but you're sharing a Facebook account. I don't know why couples do this, but this is so weird to me. This is when you got people who don't trust each other. I'm not sharing my Facebook account with my man, husband, boyfriend. Why? I don't need you responding to nothing on my behalf, and I ain't gonna respond on your Facebook account. I'm not sharing no phone or no Facebook account with no man. I heard people doing this. It's very creepy, weird to me. Anyway, Gendron told Kayla he had just gotten home from work and had to get up early next morning and asked them what was open at their hour and where they were. The conversation continued with Kayla referencing several places that might be open. She didn't apologize, saying she knew Gendron had to wake up early. "It's okay. Try to have a good night," Gendron said, to which Kayla responded, "I'm going to try. Can we?" She says, "I'm going to try. Can we die in this weather?" "Yeah, you can die in the weather if you freeze to death, dummy." Kayla then said she had found someone with jumper cables, but Gendron said he didn't really want to drive over and jump the car late at night and suggested them calling AAA or another 24-hour roadside assistance service. Well, Gendron common sense should have told you they didn't have any money. That's why they wanted you to come help. If they had money and insurance, they would have called AAA. Duh. He just didn't want to do it. The final message from Kayla received 1:53 a.m. said they didn't have insurance that would provide access to roadside assistance, but told him not to worry about it. Gendron also testified that he was not aware that Adam and Kayla were living in the car that night. Well, if she's telling you we're going to die, what did you think she was talking about? This makes no sense. The third witness to testify on Tuesday was Aaron Sweeney, longtime Manchester resident. 2019, Sweeney said he worked for Auto City Towing. On December 7, 2019, at 12:52 p.m., he said he towed a disabled 2010 Chrysler Sebring belonging to Adam Montgomery from the corner of Webster and Elm Streets in Manchester. Sweeney said he first towed the car to a nearby gas station so the people in the car would retrieve some belongings from the vehicle. He said he remembered 2 men getting some items out of the car and putting them in another car. This is where we have another discrepancy. But Darrow, the dope dealer, says he didn't go pick up Kayla and Adam and take stuff out the car and put in his car. So then we have to ask this question then. Well, how did they get to you to tell you they were homeless and needed to stay in your car? Badero, did you answer that in court? You told the court, well, I didn't go get nobody. I didn't go pick up nobody. Well, then how did they get to you with all their kids walking in the snow? Or bad weather, rather, in the cold? Oh, yeah, it was snow outside. So 2 people are walking with 2 kids in the snow to your apartment to say, hey, can we sleep in your car? See, these are the details people don't think about when they're talking and testifying and testifying, as we say in the street. Yeah, everybody's not telling the whole truth, which makes no sense because the story is already jacked up. So why lie? We already know the girl's not alive. So lying about the day and lying about going to pick them up, lying about this and this, what is the point? I don't get it. Because what you got to tell yourself is the obvious. If their car broke down, how did they get to your apartment and how far is it to walk in the snow with luggage to then ask you, can they stay in your car, not knowing if you're going to say yes or not, no or not? And then Kayla says they stayed in the parking lot for weeks with the kids. So what, is that the truth? And you told them, no, don't stay back there. So then we had to ask why. You didn't want them close to your house? You didn't trust them? What? Because something about this is still off to me, this relationship with Mr. Badero and this parking lot sleepover. Excuse me. I don't know what to believe. So here we go. The tow truck guy says he remembered two guys getting items from the car, some items, putting them into another car. He said he didn't remember what the items the men took out of the car. Once they were finished, he said he brought the car back to his company's tow lot. The day's fourth witness was Joseph Tucker, who works at the Catholic Medical Center as the cybersecurity manager, but previously worked for Manchester Police Department 2015 until 2022. In January 2022, he said he was asked to assist police with a search of Adam Montgomery's 2010 Chrysler Sebring, which had been in the junkyard for years. That included collecting evidence like photos and blood samples. He said pink toothbrush. He found a pink toothbrush among the items recovered from the trunk of the vehicle. Prosecutors had the actual toothbrush, an electric children's Trolls toothbrush in court Tuesday, had Tucker display it for the jurors. After Tucker, Manchester Police Sergeant Brian O'Leary took the stand. He worked in the detective squad for 9 years up until 2022. As part of that squad, he said he was involved in the investigation into the disappearance of Harmony Montgomery. He was also involved in the same search of the Sebring that Tucker had been involved in back in January of 2022. He testified about the use of the Blue Star test used to check for the presence of blood. The blood visualizing agent was used by police in the search of the car. 4 positive swabs were located in the trunk of the vehicle, which were sent to the New Hampshire State Police Forensic Laboratory. Manchester Police Detective Ryan Hale, a 10-year veteran of the department, also testified Tuesday answering questions, mostly about how he was part of the team analyzing evidence from the Harmony Montgomery case. 3:30 p.m. Tuesday, jurors heard from Katie Lynn Swango, who works at the New Hampshire State Police Forensic Laboratory. She testified about the DNA test she ran on the pink Trolls toothbrush found in the trunk of Adam Montgomery's Sebring, which matched both Adam Montgomery and Crystal Sorey, Harmony's mother. Everything lined up perfectly as if it could have been from a child made by those two people, Swango said. She also said the gender of the child was female. So we now have confirmation that she had been in that trunk, toothbrush in the trunk, blood matching her DNA, and her DNA matching to the likes of the mother and the father. Okay? On Monday, Harmony's stepmother, Kaylee Montgomery, this was last week, she finished her testimony. Adam's defense team is arguing Kayla is the one who unalived 5-year-old girl. Kayla has denied this. Last week, Kayla testified that Adam beat Harmony to death after a bathroom accident in the car, December 2019. While on the stand Monday, Kayla was asked if she still loved her estranged husband, and she said she still cares about him despite the horror she said she witnessed. Kayla Montgomery has been the star witness against her husband, Adam, who is facing second-degree murder and other charges in the death of his daughter, Harmony. Authorities believe the girl was killed on December 7, 2019, but that she wasn't reported missing for nearly 2 years after that. The girl's body has not been found. As the trial got underway in Manchester, last week, defense attorneys acknowledged Adam Montgomery is guilty of falsifying evidence, abusing a corpse, but they said he did not kill Harmony and have instead suggested the girl actually died December 6th while alone with her stepmother, Kayla. So now you see where this is going. Kayla says the 7th. Adam says the 6th. He wasn't around. Kayla had the child the 6th. What is this? Who's on first? Who's on second? Who's got the bat? Who's got the glove? That's what you got going on right here. 2 addicts arguing over the dates. I didn't have her. But you're always the one driving because it's your car. She later said she never drove. She was always a passenger. Then we learned right after Thanksgiving, there's a whole nother woman sitting in the front seat Who is she? Tabitha. Tabitha, what you got to do with this? Yeah, Queen putting you on blast because I want to know what you got to do with this story. Because I want to know why you sit in the front seat and Kayla is the girlfriend, the wife. Help me understand. Why is Kayla sitting in the back seat of her car with her man and you are in the front seat? That's what the cop said. So now the cop is also lying about where you sat in the car, the same car that's missing a whole girl. Ding, ding, ding. November 29th, 5 people, $5 foot long. 5 people in the car. November 29th, 5 people in the car. Kayla's in the back. Kayla's in the back. Why? Little girl missing. Little girl missing. But yet she died on the 7th a week later. Are you hearing this? Okay, let's finish. Okay. As the trial got underway in Manchester last week, defense attorneys acknowledged Adam Montgomery is guilty of falsifying evidence, abusing a corpse. He did not kill Harmony. Instead, it was Kayla. She did it on December 6th. That assault never happened, did it? Smith, the defense attorney, said after Kayla Montgomery again testified that her husband repeatedly punched Harmony in the head because the girl had wet herself. Yes, it did, said Kayla. She also denied the defense team's theory when prosecutor Christopher Knowles directly asked her, did Harmony die in the middle of the night alone with you when the defendant wasn't even there? No, she answered. The family, including the couple's 2 young boys, had been evicted and were living in the car at the time, according to Kayla. Adam punched Harmony at several stoplights as they drove from a methadone clinic to a fast food restaurant the morning of December 7th. So obviously he was angry, upset. Is it because he was coming down from a high? What are we saying? Who can prove they were going to Burger King the 7th? Who can prove the little girl was even in the car the 7th? You got to have proof because somebody's lying here. She showed little emotion Monday answering questions about handing food to the children without checking on Harmony. The subsequent discovery that the girl was dead at all the places she said the body was hid, including a homeless center, ceiling vent, and the walk-in freezer at her husband's workplace. But she later cried and wiped her face with tissues when asked whether she still loves Adam. So this is when she shows emotion for the bum that took a child's life. I still care about him because he's the father of my children, she said. He was my best friend. It's been hard for me to just let go. Oh, mercy. Knowles then showed her a large photograph of her own face, bruised with injuries. She said Montgomery had inflicted and asked why she stayed with him. I was scared and I still cared about him, she said, giving a similar answer when Knowles showed her a large image of Harmony and asked, why stay with someone who did what he did to a helpless girl like this? Kayla Montgomery is serving an 18-month prison sentence after pleading guilty to perjury for lying during grand jury testimony about where she was when Harmony was last seen. She was not given immunity, but acknowledged to Smith that she hasn't faced further consequences for inconsistencies in her various statements to police or prosecutors. By that agreement, you were supposed to only tell the truth, and your story changed a lot, said Smith, suggesting Kayla has continued to lie to protect herself. And at the grand jury, you were always supposed to tell the truth, and you lied. Adam Montgomery has not been attending his trial. He was convicted last year in an unrelated case involving gun theft and was sentenced to over 30 years in prison. The Associated Press contributed to this report. 10 Boston is the source. Thank you for joining me. $111 in the room. God is good. Thank you.
Well, you describe physically trying to stop him, Adam. You describe verbally trying to stop him.
Yes.
Nobody wants a person to strike and hurt a child.
Right.
Especially a 5-year-old child under your care.
Right.
And you cannot allow that to happen. You can't sit by and allow that to happen, right?
Right.
Okay. But you said that you stopped trying to do anything because he looked at you with the face of pure evil.
Yes.
So you just got scared and shut up, right?
Yes.
Because his face was pure evil. Right?
Yes.
And pure evil, a person with pure evil is not someone you want to protect.
No.
And a person who is pure evil is not someone that you love.
Well, that's hard to say.
Okay. A person of pure evil is not someone you want raising your children.
April 2019, the bio mother.
Okay. And you would do anything to get your kids away from pure evil.
Yes.
And even though Harmony was your child, you felt the same about her.
Yes.
She was pretty much your child.
Yes, I helped take care of her.
Okay. And when you and Adam split up years later, or March of 2021, you wanted him back.
We were both trying to fix our family and get back.
You wanted him back with the family and raising the children.
Right.
And
Yeah, Jeannie, she wouldn't have done anything.
when you were sitting in your cell thinking about this and reliving it, and you wrote that note about your thoughts about what you wanted, you indicated that the children needed Adam as well as you, right?
Right.
And that's not the face of pure evil,
Say when, Shirley?
right?
No.
Okay. So you said to the jury Friday, I believe, that you fed the children at the Burger King parking lot?
Yes.
Okay.
We were leaving the parking lot.
As you were leaving the parking lot, you were feeding them?
Yeah, I handed them food.
Okay. Who did you hand food?
I handed Seamus some food.
Uh-huh.
I handed Declan some food.
Uh-huh.
And I reached behind my seat and was giving Harmony the food, but I just put it down, thinking that she was going to be grabbing it.
Okay. So, do you remember telling the police that you fed the children at the Colonial parking lot?
No.
Okay. Did you feed the children at the Colonial parking lot?
I don't know.
Okay.
She doesn't know she fed him at the parking lot. That's crazy. The guy said he brought you food 2 times.
Your car died at the intersection
Bullshit.
late morning-ish. Does that sound right?
Yes.
And you were at the clinic at 7-ish?
Yes.
Okay, so you were in the Colonial parking lot for a while, right?
Yes.
All right. And
Oh, that's a good point made in the chat about the clothes. Let's talk about that for just a second. If the child, you have no reason to change a dead person. That makes no sense. Every blue moon, people might do that with grown-ups to try to throw off investigation in case the people are, the bodies are discovered. But imagine if she soiled herself. Stay woke now. She soiled herself, urine and defecation, and did it more than once at the time of death. She's really going to smell, because you're now talking about fecal matter, urine, plus a corpse rotting, plus the toxins that come out of the body, plus fluid that comes out of a body. She's really going to be smelly. So I'm going to say this again to Miss Lubin, the mother. of Kayla. You didn't smell nothing in that cooler, because we're talking about defecation and urine. That has a smell on its own without a person being deceased. Stay woke. So the child was soiled. You want me to believe they cleaned her up and then wrapped her up? Hell no, they didn't. Okay? Yeah, and laid her food down. Well, basically she's saying she put it behind her back. Why didn't you just turn over this way? You're in the passenger seat. Wouldn't it make sense to turn this way to give the child her food? Or maybe you didn't buy her any food. So you don't really know if this is the truth, because addicts don't remember well. Just like she don't remember feeding the kids at Colonial Park in the parking lot. So if you can't remember feeding them then, how do I know this even happened with giving them Burger King on the 7th? You remember Burger King, but you don't remember eating for the 2 days in the parking lot where you thought you were going to freeze to death. That don't make no sense. That's not something you would forget. Being homeless for 2 days, 3 days. So once again, what's the truth? You don't remember feeding the kids in the parking lot, but you remember Burger King and handing the kids their food, but you didn't hand her food. You just put hers in behind you. Thought she grabbed it. Well, you know she didn't grab it because you would have felt the tug on the bag. Is this a made-up story, Kayla, this Burger King shit? Because I'm going to play audio from the cop's testimony. And I'm going to say it for the last time in this live stream. He ain't see your daughter, stepdaughter, November 29th. So this Burger King incident on the 7th, bring the queen a receipt from Burger King. Checkmate. Because she can't be in two places dead. Let me say it again. The baby can't be in two places and dead. So are you making up this Burger King bullshit? Because like I said, what difference does it make? Dead is dead. So there's no need to keep making up stuff. Because the cop didn't know you two from a can of paint. He has no reason to lie about what he saw in a car at a traffic stop. A traffic stop is a traffic stop. That's why he said he remembered seeing Adam, because he had just stopped him on the 29th. Now he's stopping him on December 2nd. So he has no reason to lie. And the old saying is, if you lie about one thing, you lie about another. And you've lied to the grand jury because you didn't want to get this scumbag in trouble. And as people are saying in the chat, you only cry when it's pertaining to you and Adam and those boys, but you ain't crying for Harmony. Because maybe you never liked her and maybe you didn't treat her well either. Because you got to prove to me that you didn't put your hands on the little girl, that you didn't scold or spank her, hit her around. Now, you may have been working a few times gone while he was at home beating up the little girl, but who's to say you didn't mistreat the little girl when you came home, when you all was staying at that house with all them damn relatives or whatever house it was? See, I don't know about you either, because I got a funky feeling this might be a tag team beating up a kid. He's beating her up while you at work and you come home and you punch her around too. How do I know? Because there's no warm, fuzzy feeling when you talk. You seem doped up in this trial. They didn't give you a sedative, they gave you something. But you was under the influence of something at trial. You all cotton in here. You and Adam both. That's why you two were attracted to each other. Two empty vessels floating through the night. He's empty, you're empty. And if he didn't do it to Harmony, he'd have done it to your boys and that little girl you gave birth to. Because he's evil. And you're evil too because you were right there and rode the ride. That's why you can't give people a pass for allowing another person to abuse a child or abuse their children. You sit here and watch somebody abuse a child, you're no different than the person that's inflicting the blows. You're just like them because you're sitting there watching. How you gonna sit there and watch somebody beat a kid? We would have wrecked that damn car. Do you hear me? He didn't even care about his kids or nobody else. He's sitting here he's punching a kid over the seat with his foot on the brake. Now imagine that. You got your head turned, beating a kid that can't defend herself. And you're right there. You said you put your hand up one time to make him stop. I guess you said, well, I better put my hand down because he'll beat me up too. We would have wrecked that car, buddy. We would have wrecked that car. That'd been the first day he would have seen me buck up. And I'd have gave Adam the business. Take your hands off that baby. You're not going to beat that baby with me in the fucking car. That's what you should have said. But you were so dickmatized. What love? You were addicted to the ding dong. That's what your problem was. That's why you still talking that shit in court last week. I still love him. He my baby daddy. Your baby daddy is a baby killer. Do you hear yourself? What I always say, you want to be single and fuck up your life with a loser? Knock yourself. Hell, most of us done it. Fool with losers, abusive. But ain't no kids involved. Because it's wrong to do it if I ain't got no kids with a man and he's talking crazy to me, he's mistreating me, putting his hands on me. Okay, now I got kids with him, or I got my own kids and I'm letting him beat me up and beat up my kids. So you were in the car, watched him unalive a whole human, and you think he wouldn't do it to you and he wouldn't do it to your kids. You a fool. He snuffed you out and snuffed them kids out too. And now he's turned on you and he's saying you did it. But you still love him. Okay. Lord have mercy.
In the car before you left. And you said that Adam, struck her God knows how many times.
Yes.
And that she had been crying and that Adam actually got scared that he had hurt her.
Yes.
And you never checked. And you described on direct when you were talking to the state that whenever you all were out in public, Harmony would be covered up so no one would see.
Right.
That wasn't quite true, right?
Not in the beginning.
Okay. And not at Burger King.
Yes, she was under the blanket Burger King.
Okay. Do you recall saying that she had a blanket on her lap when you were feeding her?
I just knew the blanket was there.
And that you put little pieces of food on her blanket that was on her lap to feed her?
I remember putting pieces of food on her lap.
So to toss back a sandwich?
Yeah.
Okay. And you had no concerns about Harmony?
I see a hippie.
You said that she was moaning before she was at Burger King?
Yeah.
And you said that she was moaning after Burger King?
Yes.
And that moaning had you concerned?
Yes.
But you didn't check?
No.
And I think you just said because you weren't concerned.
No, I am concerned. I was concerned.
Okay. And you didn't check on her. And Adam, you described as being scared that he would hurt her, had hurt her.
Yes.
And where did you go from? Where were you going from the village?
I don't remember where we were going. I don't remember if we were going to figure out how to get money to get more drugs. I don't remember what we were doing.
Don't remember where they're going after Burger King.
Okay. So that if this were true, then Adam would be driving around with a critically injured child in the back seat.
Punching her over the seat.
Right.
And it would have been a pretty important place to have to go for him to take that sort of risk of driving around with a critically injured child in the back seat?
He didn't care.
Okay.
She said he didn't care.
You did or did not?
I felt like I had no say.
Okay.
Anytime I said something, I'd get yelled at.
Okay. And then,
She had no say.
say that at the intersection. By the way, what drugs did you do that night?
I remember doing heroin or fentanyl.
Okay. Not crack.
I don't remember if I did that.
Don't remember what drug she used.
So when you said on direct that it was heroin and crack, that's not what you recall.
I don't remember doing both.
But you do recall heroin and fentanyl.
Yes.
Okay.
Heroin and fentanyl, she recalls.
And so we discussed timing with the Colonial at 7 and then the breakdown late morning, right?
Yes.
So you were at the Colonial for a few hours.
We were at the clinic at 7.
And then Burger King and then the Colonial.
Yes.
And so you were at the Colonial parking lot for a few hours or a couple of hours before you left for wherever it was you were going.
I don't think we were there that long.
Do you recall the tow truck driver, do you recall going back to the intersection and the tow truck driver was there?
You're talking about after the car broke down?
Uh-huh.
Yes, I remember when we got brought back.
Okay. And that was like after 12:30 or so, right?
Yeah, something like that.
And how long did it take you to walk to Mr. Badero's from the car?
I don't know. It felt like a long walk. I don't remember how long.
Okay. Okay.
See, this doesn't make sense either. A long walk. But I thought he gave him a ride. But then Badero denies that too. He said, I didn't pick him up. So what is the truth?
So, let's see.
Yeah. You don't know what, it's too many lies. Too many lies.
In that time that you were in the Colonial parking area on the 6th prior to the car breaking down, Harmony was in the car, but she was dead, right?
This is. Yes.
Sorry. Harmony was on the 7th, between your 7 o'clock session at the clinic, dosage at the clinic, to Burger King, to the parking lot, to using drugs, to late morning driving away.
Yes.
Harmony was dead in the car, right?
Not throughout that whole time.
Pardon?
Not throughout the whole time.
She was actually in the trunk of the car, right? Were you and Adam planning or trying to figure out what you could do with Harmony because she had died?
No, that didn't happen yet.
Okay. Okay. So,
Shirley. Exactly.
somewhere important you had to go with Harmony in the car. And
You can't make no sense out of none of this.
you break down at the intersection, right? The car
I didn't
does.
have anywhere important to go.
Okay. So at the intersection, there's Webster and Elm Street, right?
Yes.
Elm Street is a big road, 4-lane.
Yes.
4-lane in the sense that it has turning lanes, right?
Yes.
And Webster is smaller, 2-lane.
Well, it was still 2 lanes where we were.
And then it changes. And so you were on Webster,
Random.
getting ready to get onto Elm Street.
I don't remember which way we were going. But I knew we were at the light. First car at the light.
So you don't know if you were in the 4-lane part or the 2-lane part of Elm Street or the 2-lane part of Webster?
We were right on Webster at the light.
Okay. And the light turns green and the car doesn't go.
Right.
And there are cars around you.
Well, surely people have done it. You've seen people, put your car in park or put your foot on the brake and reach over, hit your kid,
They were just
or reach in the back seat. People have done it.
We had to keep telling them to drive around.
Okay. So you and Adam are sort of waving them around,
Yes.
or you're waving them around.
I was waving them around to go around the car.
Okay. And Adam, I think you said, got the duffel bag out of the trunk?
Yes.
Because the duffel bag was in the trunk, right?
Yes.
And Harmony's body was in that duffel bag already.
No.
Ooh. You tell Adam, well, I think Adam asked you what to do, right?
Yes.
This is a pretty bad situation, right?
Right.
With Harmony in the car like she was.
Oh, get to the point already.
And Adam asked you what to do.
Right.
And you tell him that you should. Yes.
Shirley. Shirley, please stop.
I'm going to show you a copy.
It's amazing how she remembers some things, don't remember other things. What I've been trying to figure out is, how did they get her out of the bag without anybody seeing, get her out of the car from the blanket into the bag without somebody seeing them put a child in a duffel bag? That's strange to me if this happened in the afternoon. Because allegedly the car broke down with them all in the car together. So how would you have gotten the child out without anybody seeing you stuff her in a duffel bag in the afternoon? This doesn't make any sense.
And you told Adam that you should go to Badera's.
Well, she's trying to poke holes in her story. That's what she's doing.
So it was your idea. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense if she died coming from Burger King and died before the car broke down. You still got to get her out to put her in the bag, to put her in the trunk.
The duffel bag from the trunk. Yes. You got your purse and stuff from the trunk.
No, my purse was not in the trunk.
Okay. So you got your purse and you got some stuff in the trunk. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. You got some diapers for the kids,
Yes.
and you couldn't take too much with you.
See, I was wondering about that too.
Walking with all the kids to Mr. Badera's.
So they left some stuff behind in the trunk of their car then. broke down.
And you can't wait around for any kind of help because you have to get Harmony's body away from that car as soon as you can.
What you say? I think the baby was already in the bag, and he grabbed the bag because the trunk wouldn't open. What do you mean the trunk wouldn't open?
Harmony was dead. I think on direct you said that Adam opened the door and said something like, baby girl, wake up, or wake up, baby girl.
Yes.
And she wasn't moving.
Right.
And that's when he popped open the trunk, you said.
The trunk wouldn't open.
The trunk wouldn't open.
Eventually then, right?
We moved the car seat out of the car so that he could move the seat to get into the trunk.
Okay. And
so the trunk wouldn't open.
Adam checked her breathing.
He was just trying to wake her and she wouldn't wake up.
Okay. Do you remember Adam saying that Adam put his hand over her heart?
No.
And so that didn't happen? You don't have a recollection of...
That's my point, Lolo.
His hand over her heart?
It's afternoon time. How are you going to put a baby in a bag without nobody seeing you?
Police that in June of 23rd that he put his hand over her heart to check her.
He was checking her, but she wasn't waking up.
Okay, so he did put his hand over her heart to check her.
He tried waking her up. I don't remember the hand on the heart.
Okay.
Thank you. Shirley, none of it makes sense. All these places they were with a dead baby and nobody put two and two together. Even though you know she was smelling. Come on now. She smelled in the shelter. Why wouldn't she smell in the cooler outside the mother's apartment? Come on. All these people got some explaining to do because this is bullshit. I think the baby's been dead. How about that?
Do you remember telling the police on June of 2023 that he checked her breathing and like put his hand on her heart? Okay, I'm going to show you. Copy of that same transcript, okay? And ask you to review that paragraph there, okay?
I'm with you on that, Myra. I think she's been dead. That's what I think. Because it is risky. Your car breaks down and there's a dead kid in there. And you got to remember, they've called for help and got help, and that guy comes and get them. That means the child naturally was already dead in the bag when Badero came and got them. But Badero says he didn't come get them.
I still don't remember that.
But then here she also says she walked to his apartment. So which is it? He picked you up or you walked to his apartment? Something's off.
June of 2023, you were telling them as if it was a memory, right?
Well, she wasn't dead in April, sweetheart, because the social worker saw her in July, August. He saw her in July getting in the car with the father, and then he came back a week later, and he saw her in August of 2019.
And you also checked Harmony, and she wasn't breathing. Right. You checked her neck, and you checked her wrists.
Yeah.
And you were looking for a pulse.
Yeah.
Must have been panicking.
Yeah.
Did you do that before or after you were waving cars around?
After.
Okay. So, after you have checked Harmony, you're saying that you went to the back of the car and you're sort of moving cars around to get them around your car.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long did you do that?
Until we got the stuff out of the car that we needed to get out.
Okay, so are you doing that while Adam is getting stuff out of the car?
No, we're both on each side of the car doing the same thing, trying to get stuff out.
So this makes no sense. So you're in public doing this. So how do you get the baby in the bag? This doesn't make any sense. You're in public.
You claim that as these cars are going around and beeping and everything, that Adam put Harmony into a duffel bag.
Cars are going around the car, and you're putting a dead kid in a bag. Think about that for just a second.
4 of you walked to Colonial Village. Right.
This makes no sense. It's afternoon, and your car's broke down or so. You just said we're maneuvering cars and we're trying to get stuff out of the trunk. So how would you put the baby in the bag if you are outside? Because you have to take the baby outside to put her in the bag. Because it'd be kind of hard, wouldn't you? Or you took the bag out the trunk and put it in the back seat and then pushed her in there some kind of way without people seeing you.
See blood on it?
Jeez, that's what I remember.
Okay. And
It's crazy. Okay, Jenny says she don't believe the intersection story. That's too risky to put her in a bag or put the bag in the car.
Stuff in the back and cleaning the car. That well, you told the police that Adam was putting stuff in the bag and cleaning the car, right?
After
what?
After we got to Anthony's.
Oh yeah, random. I believe that.
To the
Yeah.
car to get stuff out.
Uh-huh.
And he cleaned it.
Okay. And you said that he cleaned the back seat because he had blood on his hands from hitting Harmony.
I don't remember. Yes.
It's too risky doing it in the car. Even if you took the bag out the trunk, took the clothes out the bag, and then took the bag and put it in the back seat, it's still too risky because people are going by. I still would be scared trying to put her in the bag. Let's say they took the bag from the trunk and put the bag in the back seat. It's still risky trying to lift her in that bag. Of course, you're covering your body. Nobody probably can see over your back. That's the only way I can see it in public. You took the bag and put it in the back seat and then maneuvered her in the bag. So that means they probably put the bag in the floorboard, and then dropped her into the bag, put some clothes over her, and then took the bag and put it in the back of the trunk.
Adam was cleaning, and you said
That don't make sense either because you said you couldn't get to the trunk.
Because he had blood on his hands from hitting Harmony, right?
I don't remember that day of him doing that. I just remember cleaning the car after.
Okay. I'm going to ask you the questions, and then we'll do some more. You said that Harmony had a bloody nose, and he had blood on his hands from hitting her, and he was wiping the seat with a napkin, right?
Ruled. I don't remember it that day that she passed away that was happening.
Okay. And you were asked if Badero said anything about Adam's bloody hand, right?
Not that day.
Okay, I'll go through. And you said no, he had already cleaned up his hands because that event, the bloody nose thing, happened days before, right?
Right.
And
So he's been beating the baby then.
You were asked more about whether Harmony had blood on her that day,
Right.
and you said you saw dried blood on her face, right?
Right.
And you said that that was the day the car broke down, that you saw dry blood on her face.
Right.
Okay. So I'm going to go.
Dried blood on her face the same day? I got to rewatch this. This is crazy.
There's other things that you didn't remember and see if they were fresh in your recollection.
Maybe she's been dead back there under the covers for a couple of days. Could that be it? Dried blood the same day you putting her in a bag? From where he beat her days before. Are y'all hearing this? See, I didn't listen to this all the way through. I'll have to do another video now because this is macabre. Dried blood while she's checking her pulse. This is crazy. Oh man. I didn't plan on playing all this today. I was going to play something else, but I don't know how long this part of the video is. This is bullshit. Get up, baby girl. Get up, baby girl. See, who's to say she hadn't been dead in the car for days? Something's off with this. All this is off. She only remembers certain things, which is bizarre to some degree, because I know when you use drugs, you're gonna have a lapse in memory. But it's amazing how you can remember this, but you don't remember this. I don't remember blood, but then I saw dried blood on her face. So dried blood would make me think it's been on her face because she's probably been dead already. So you don't know what to believe with this heifer. It's bullshit. Somebody says Harmony was not sitting in the back seat as they had folded her in the bottom of the seat and covered her with a blanket and piled some clothes on top of her. I don't know. Died overnight. Okay. Yeah, so you don't really know when she died. The girl's already lied. So what you got to remember one thing. If you've lied already to the police and the grand jury, why would I believe what you're telling us in court? That doesn't mean that what she's saying is the truth about anything. That's what you got to remember, because you've already lied. You've already been lying and covering for him. So really, that's why I keep telling you, it really doesn't even matter about the dates, because they're liars. And what she's saying right now doesn't make any sense. I'm checking her pulse and blood is dried on her face. So now you got to ask her, well, what time of day was it when you checked the pulse? 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, what? See, you don't know. You don't even know if she's already dead in the car. Yeah, a day before, 2 days before. I don't even believe the mother saw her Thanksgiving. I don't know what to believe. Because I'm sitting here thinking, you're already homeless eating Thanksgiving or stopping by for a minute. You don't think to tell your mother when you first saw her Thanksgiving, hey, Mom, we're homeless. Can we stay here? When you had Harmony with you, allegedly. You got these kids, it's cold, and you don't tell your mom, I'm homeless, and it's Thanksgiving. That doesn't even make any sense to me. You go talk to your aunt, and then she go call the mother. But you was just at your mother's house. But you didn't want to tell your mother you were homeless. Oh, shit. And something's off, man. Something's way off here. Well, truth, I believe she's been dead. That's the point of the story. So that's what you got to think about. If a person is a liar, you don't know that the version they're giving the testimony in court is the truth either. What's probably the truth? He punched the baby and she died. What you ain't hearing is the actual day when he punched her and she died. That's where the problem comes in. The actual day that she died. I don't think that you're going to ever get the truth about that. Because there's nobody that can prove it. You can't prove it. Can't prove she died on the 7th, the 6th. But the cop says November 29th, she wasn't in the backseat of that car. And that's 2 days after Thanksgiving. So she is lying, if I'm going to believe the cop.
That Harmony had a bloody nose and had blood on it. He had blood on his hands and was wiping the seat with a napkin.
So that happened days before.
See?
Before she died.
See?
Sure.
Nose bloody days before.
Wiping was on when the tow truck driver was there?
Yeah, when we went back to the car.
Okay.
I remember cleaning.
Okay. And it was for the blood that was on the car?
I don't remember what it was for. Adam just wanted to clean it.
Okay.
So he's been beating the baby up.
That
Golly, this is crazy.
you did see blood, you said, on Harmony's face.
Days before.
And it was that day, right?
Yes.
And where you saw Adam cleaning was around the area that Harmony was sitting, right?
Right.
And you said that Adam had blood on his face that day? I mean, on his fist that day?
Yeah, on his hands.
And that Harmony had blood on her face?
Dried blood, yeah.
Dried blood on her face. That day she died.
Right. But not from days before. Are you saying she had dried blood from days before?
Yeah, she had dried blood on her face.
From days before?
Right, that makes no sense. Days before she had dried blood. So why would you have your child walking around with dried blood on?
No, we just kept her under the blanket.
Kept her under the blanket because she's been dead. Days before was Thanksgiving. And your mother just saw her. She wouldn't have said, what's wrong with her face? They're all lying. I'm done with this. I'm stopping right here. I'm not playing no more of this bullshit. I'm going on to my next video. I'm done with this. That's all I had to hear. That's all I had to hear. You were just at your mother's house the 27th, Kayla. So if the daughter was beat up days before, wouldn't the mother have realized the child had been battered and asked you, what's wrong with this kid? What's wrong with her eye? What's wrong with her face? What's wrong with her nose? This goes back to what I said earlier in this live stream. This child has been dead. She's been dead before the 7th, before the 6th. Possibly way before the Badero incident, switching cars and all that bullshit. Miss Lubin, you got some explaining to do. You didn't see that girl at your house, Harmony. I got a feeling she's dead before they went to your house Thanksgiving. Because what did I just say? Why am I going to spend a little time with my mother and not tell her I'm homeless? You kept her under a blanket, bloody, as if nobody could ever ask questions. So this still goes back to the cop incident on the 29th. He didn't see her back there. Because wouldn't he say, oh, I saw a girl child. Oh, she also was bloody. Her face was battered. She's been dead. Now you got to try to figure out how long. That'll be the next live stream because this is bullshit. Let me get on to the testimony from the cop. I ain't listening to more of that garbage. I ain't listening to more. I'm already 2 hours and 16 minutes in. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Law and Crime just uploaded 5 shocking moments from Harmony Montgomery's murder trial so far. Yeah, no more shocking than this bullshit I'm just listening to. Because this is bad. This is real bad. Let's hear from the cop. Then I'm going to end this live stream. I needed to go back and listen to all of it. Now getting just these little snippets. Nah.
Yes, I do. You can have a seat. Make yourself comfortable. Officer Penson, can you start by stating and spelling your name for the record?
Officer Neil Pentinen, Neilpenttinen.
And Officer Penson, how are you presently employed?
I'm employed by the Manchester Police Department.
How long have you worked for the Manchester Police Department?
Since January of 2012.
Bad, man.
And what is your current assignment?
I'm currently assigned to the Community Policing Unit.
And can you tell the jurors what that is?
The Community Policing Unit, we deal with mostly neighborhood issues, homeless issues, anything outside of the scope of patrol. We'll negotiate things, do community meetings, things of that nature.
And what are your current duties and responsibilities on that Community Policing Unit?
I am in what's referred to as an area officer, so I cover a section of the city.
She didn't see
when
her.
People call in neighborhood complaints or general issues that patrol doesn't have time to deal with. We go deal with those things.
You mentioned starting with the Manchester Police Department in 2012.
Yes.
So bad.
What did you do for work prior to that?
Prior to that, I was a police officer with the Scottsdale, Arizona Police Department. I was hired there in April of 2005.
And when you came from Scottsdale to New Hampshire, did you go through the police academy?
I originally with Scottsdale, I attended the Mesa, Arizona.
Let me fast forward to some of this. Hold on, you guys.
So you mentioned speaking to the drivers of the vehicles, and then you mentioned getting the vehicle occupant information. Where do you usually get that information from?
I will ask whoever's there. I will speak to each person individually and get their information. Unless it's a child, then I will ask the adult who's
yeah, microphone problems.
Do you typically speak to every individual other than children? Do you typically speak to every individual in each car?
Yes, I do.
And what's the purpose of that?
To get a brief synopsis of what occurred in the accident from different perspectives.
And do you document these investigations?
I do.
How do you document them?
I will immediately take notes on a notepad, and then I will fill out an accident exchange form for the individuals involved in the accident, which will include insurance information, phone numbers, addresses, and which is required by the police department. And then when that is all done, I will make a traffic accident report documenting everything from the scene.
And again, is it necessary during, and we're still talking your standard protocol, is it necessary during these investigations for you to see every individual involved?
Yes, I will need to see who's there.
And can you walk us through how that occurs? How do you see those individuals? Do you order them all out of the vehicle or something else?
If it's a minor accident, most of them will just stay in the vehicle. If they are on scene, I will ask who is in the vehicle and take a look at each person. You do have occasions where people will show up who weren't involved in the accident, might be related. But I will make sure that I look at each person.
Hold on, I've got to go. It's taking too
There's
long.
an adult female in the front seat. I would need to look at my report to refresh my memory of her name.
These are the people in the car.
Reviewing your report.
Trying to speed it up.
Yes, it would.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes, ma'am.
It's taking him. He got to go through all these damn itineraries.
Feels like a dream, feels like magic.
Sorry about that. It's taking too long. I'm trying to get to the point where they identify the 5 people in the car on November 29th. This is bad. Really, really bad. Probably why he's beating the baby up, mad at the world. Why wasn't he beating the other kids? Why are you beating up her?
The front passenger identified herself as Tabitha Scott.
Tabitha Scott, front passenger.
Officer Penson, who else, if anyone, did you observe in the vehicle?
There were two children in the vehicle.
Did you obtain their names?
I did obtain their names.
And what were those 2 children's names?
Again, I'd have to look at my report to refresh my memory of those.
Please do so. You can't read from it. You can't read it out loud, but feel free to refresh your recollection.
Oh, Lord. Worse than that social worker. He can remember nothing.
They were identified as Seamus Montgomery and Declan Montgomery.
2 kids only. November 29th.
Did you note their relative seating locations?
I did.
And what were they?
I believe it was the center passenger and rear right passenger.
Do you know which one was in the center and which one was rear
I don't
right?
recall which one was where.
Is that noted in your...
It should be noted in my report, yes.
Please, if you believe that looking at your report would refresh your recollection, please do so.
Probably Dawn. Yeah, he's beating her all the time. I don't think it mattered what she did. She would never be able to please him. I think he just didn't like the kid. It's probably got something to do with the mother.
Seamus was in the rear middle and Declan was in the rear right.
2 children only mentioned. No Harmony Montgomery mentioned.
Did you see any other children in the defendant's vehicle?
I did not.
And did you, during your response, did you actually look inside of the defendant's vehicle?
I don't recall if I looked in the vehicle or not. It was so long ago.
Doesn't recall looking in the car.
Other than full of people, how would you describe the defendant's vehicle?
The defendant's vehicle, aside from having 5 people in there, there was clutter in the vehicle.
Clutter in the vehicle.
Is that something that you saw?
I did.
Because they were living in the car.
So, officer, I want to switch gears. I want to talk about that second accident just several days later. So I want to turn your attention
Accident
to
2.
December 2nd of 2019. Were you working in your official capacity with the Manchester?
You can go check out this content on WMUR TV. It's in the YouTube queue and on my community page. This commentary you're hearing is the officer testifying of November 29th, 2019. There were only 5 passengers in the car. Declan, Seamus, the 2 boys, Adam, Kayla, and a front passenger by the name of Tabitha Scott. Who is Tabitha Scott? Why are we not hearing anything about her? I think the Queen has found her on Facebook. I'm going to read you a post that I do believe belongs to her, and it looks like her child is in foster care. I can stand corrected. Stay woke. I'm woke. I keep trying to tell you that everybody in the intricate circle that testified, they're all addicts. That's why they were friends, associates. That's why they were manipulated by Adam to go get a U-Haul. Everybody's been double juggling on behalf of this bum baby killer. And right now, Kayla is public enemy number 1 to me as well. Because as they say, keep lying, you lie, you lie. The next version you give, why would I believe that's the truth? I believe this girl child has been battered. She was battered frequently by Adam, possibly her, possibly others in the house when they all were living in the house at the grandmother's house. She was an enemy. She was an enemy. Why he went and got custody of her, I don't know. Hustle to make money, food stamps, welfare check, possibly. But he didn't like his child. And you've heard the horrific stories of parents not liking their children. Some of you can't relate because your parents treated you well. Well, there are children who have not been treated well and their parents didn't like them, whether they raised them or didn't raise them. Perhaps he found a way, this was a means to an end to get the kids so he can get some type of assistance because they're geekers, they're drug addicts. They got to feed the craving. She was just collateral damage. That's obvious at this point. And I believe he started beating her as soon as he got her in February of 2019. So I don't think it mattered if she peed on herself. She didn't do this. She didn't do that. She didn't take care of the kids. Whatever idea you want to come up with. He's just a nasty son of a bitch. He had a violent past before he even knew he had a kid. Before she even gave birth to the kid, he was violent. He shot people, stabbed people. That's Adam Montgomery. That has nothing to even do with Harmony. He was violent before the child was even conceived. When she was born, he was in penitentiary. So that tells you something right there. What you got to figure out is, why did he want her? Why are you going before the state to see the child visitation? Then you pop off, you disappear. Then you pop back up a year or so later. That's all they've done with her. Pop up, pop off, pop in, pop out. Same thing with Crystal. The state took her 3 times from Crystal. So Crystal, I don't look at her no better than Adam. Okay? You had 3 times with your kid and you fucked up every time. And this mother, Kayla's mother, I believe you lied. You didn't see that girl Thanksgiving, Harmony. Because there's something off. Kayla's telling on you right now. Why would I be walking around with a baby with blood on her face for days? Days ago was Thanksgiving. And we didn't hear you tell the court last week that the child looked battered when she came to your house. Oh, they were there briefly, were they? I don't know. Because maybe Kayla gets her line from you, Miss Home Fix It, this old house. For all I know, he stole tools from your house to chop this baby up. I don't know. I don't care for none of you. Because every little detail Kayla's given, there's contradictory between her testimony, Adam, and Mr. Badero. Something is off with all of this walking, driving, transporting babies, bags, clothes, cop telling you the car was cluttered because they were homeless living in the car. So you got to figure out how long they were homeless. Who last saw the child alive? Somebody that we could trust their commentary to say, yeah, I last saw that child on this day. Because right now I'm not going to trust Kayla's mother, because just like Kayla is still up Adam's ass, well, the mother's probably up Kayla's ass. That's how I feel about it.
Mr. Police Department on December 2nd of 2019.
Yes, I was.
And on that day, did you respond to another accident involving the defendant?
I did.
And can you walk the jurors through your response, how you initially became aware and what you did after getting that information?
I was dispatched, I believe it was on Franklin Street,
Myrie.
in that general area.
Right. Mailman.
To a 2-vehicle accident. And again, the same thing. There were only 2 drivers in in this accident. I immediately recognized Mr. Montgomery in the vehicle, having dealt with him a few days prior.
And again, did you follow your standard protocol after your response?
I did.
After you arrived at the location?
I did.
And who, if anyone, did you document in the defendant's vehicle on that occasion?
I believe Mr. Montgomery was the only person in the vehicle.
Do you believe that looking at your report might refresh your recollection?
Oh, yes, it would.
I can have just
Yes.
This is incident number 2 with the car. December 2nd, 2019.
According to my report, Cale Montgomery was a passenger in the vehicle.
And during that response, did you note her relative seating location?
She was in the front passenger seat.
On that occasion, did you look inside of the defendant's vehicle?
I don't recall if I looked inside or not.
Did you note anything about the defendant's vehicle?
On this occasion, it was the same vehicle I had dealt with the week before. The only thing that I noted about it was the new damage on the vehicle.
Week before.
And I'm sorry, I want to go back to that November 29th response that you had.
I thought it
Around
was.
what time that day did you respond to the scene?
Again, I would have to look at my report to refresh my memory as to the exact time.
Two accidents in a week. What happened? They don't even talk about it in court. They don't even tell us what he did. He hit somebody. What? What happened? Cited what? This is
It
stupid.
was approximately 3:53 p.m.
And how about on December 2nd? What time did you arrive on the scene?
Again, I would have to look at my report to get the time that I arrived. That was approximately 10:43 a.m.
If I can ask just a moment, Your Honor.
So on December 2nd, we have incident number 2 with Kayla and Adam in the car. No children in the car. So what we have to ask ourselves, I believe we heard commentary that she left the children with somebody to keep. So now I've got to go back and find that content to see if Harmony was also at the sitters. Because if we don't get information that Harmony was there while these two out running around on December 2nd, then that means she wasn't alive December 2nd, which contradicts once again the day that she allegedly died, which was the 7th. Right. 2 accidents, 7, 8, 9 days, about 9 days. So who kept the kids while these two were running around on December 2nd? So let's backtrack. November 29th, 5 people are in the car at a car accident. Harmony's not in the car. You hear testimony here. Now, 9 so days later, they're in another accident, and it's only Kayla and Adam in the car, no children in the car. So where were the children? Allegedly, I believe I heard in testimony she left the kids with a neighbor or her mother, because I heard her saying in court, yeah, I left them with my mother, but then the girl, she might have kept them, which makes no sense. You either left them with the friend or you left them with your mother. Which is it? But was Harmony left with them? Because I got a feeling she wasn't. So if I'm to believe this version as well, the children were off with some stranger or mother December 2nd. We need a receipt that Harmony was amongst the 2 little boys. Because I got a feeling she wasn't there either. This girl's been dead way longer than what they're telling us. Because you got to think about putting a child, trying to shuffle a kid around in a car, and your car broke down, and cars are going around. You'd be scared trying to put that little girl in a bag, praying that don't nobody see. Because naturally you can't see in the car. Kids are small and they're covered up. And like I said, the only way I can see them risking putting her in the bag in the car with the car broke down in traffic is you put the bag in the floorboard and then you fold her up and put her in the bag where nobody can see, because nobody can see, over your back. But I think the mother has lied about seeing her Thanksgiving. I got a feeling the child's been dead before Thanksgiving, because now I have to have a receipt of who kept the children this second day of an accident, December 2nd. Who kept the children and was harmony amongst the children? Because I say probably not. Because I don't know if that person even came to court to testify. Whoops, sorry. They're still in talking. I'm going to stop right there because I'm going to read you something from Facebook. Then I'm going to check out of here. I'll come back and do another live pertaining to the fact that this child was battered. It's obvious she was battered. This is not a one-time event with Harmony Montgomery. During this live stream, you hear that there was a Tabitha Scott sitting in the front passenger car November 29th. Adam had 2 wrecks within a week, November 29th and December 2nd. Who was Tabitha Scott? Why do we not hear anything else about her? What was her relation to the children, the parents? Because in this incident, there's no mention of Harmony inside of the vehicle. November 29th, 2 days after Thanksgiving. The cop says it in this testimony. Where was Harmony? November 29th. Who is Tabitha Scott? Well, let's take a look into the looking glass. If this is not Tabitha Scott, then I apologize. Tabby Scott. I absolutely love my family, and if I love you unconditionally, I'll be there for you through it all, 100%. Lives in Manchester, New Hampshire, from Manchester, New Hampshire, single. About information. No places to work, no places to show where she went to school, but this is her hometown. Is this the same Tabitha Scott that was in that car November 29th, 2019? Tabby's post 5 days ago. Jess, a.k.a. Blue Eyes. Jess Banfield Amanda Williams, our son, foster mother, his social worker, S. Tara Starr. Send her nasty belly and PUSSY to him. Cynthia Massley, Caitlin McGovern, Jen Latender, O. Manning, Sonia Collin. I don't know what all this shit is she's talking about. JoJo 74, Alvarado, gang banging, his nasty girlfriend Violet. I mean, do I got to do the whole list that only this year? I'm done with a effing fool. Watch me boss up. 5 days ago. This is just the 500 girl he has talked and hurt his wife me, for he will be his wife because she caught him cheating, lies, but blame me for leaving his unfaithful loser ASS. I will now read you the messenger post that I don't understand. Joseph Haywood's been mentioned. He's a black guy. The white girl is Tabby Scott. Assuming this is her baby daddy or somebody. There's a picture of a white woman with her bosom sticking out of a wife beater shirt. And the question says, you like to suck, you know what? Come on, get dressed. Can I get a full body picture? This is what the black guy is saying to the white girl. She replies, then how you sending me the gas money? He replies, I'm going to put it in the cash app right now, $10. Then he's still saying, can I get a full body picture? It's going on and on. Next, he's replying something. I don't know. She tells him, click on it. That's all. I want you to have a little trust. I'm not here to hurt your feelings. I'm special from all those D guy. I can't lie to get anything from you. I swear with my life. What's going on? She's got her hands over her bosom. Then he says, done. Then she says, send me the screenshot. So he sends the screenshot, I guess, of sending her the money. Next thing you know, she says, nope, they're kids. Then he says, that don't live with me. One is 11 and one is almost 1 who's just starting to walk. Then she says, anyhow. Then she says, if you want me, just let me know. Then he replies, understand, money don't grow on trees. If you want to come see me, if you're really that interested in coming to see me, come on. You need $10 for gas. I'll give you $10 for gas. If I want you, just let you know. Then she replies, okay. She replies, then how are you going to send the $10? She replies, can you purchase the Bitcoin from Cash App? She replies, or you wanted to Cash App me? He replies, I'm just sending it $10, but you want me to send you $10 for you too? Whatever. Then we go up to the next one. She says, that's it. He says, okay, I'll see what I can do. She says, till when? So that I can know what to do at this moment. He replies, till when what? She replies, you said you will see what you to do, and I said till when? He replies, yo, why don't you just call me so I don't have to keep texting? She replies, I can't do phone call. He replies, my address is 92 Walnut Street. She replies, something about Cash App me now. Next, this is so stupid. Next conversation, she says, then you will Cash App me now. He says, I'm trying to put some money on Cash App. Do you have a curfew? She says, nope. She replies, how long will that take now? She replies, and I have coin wallets. If you could know how to purchase coin from Cash App, maybe I should send my wallet. She says, what's up? Then she says, are you kidding me now? He replies, I just got home and I said I would see if I could help you. I mean, I'm far from the broke type, but I ain't never anything with you. Still trying to get to know you, but you just hit me out of left field with that question. SHIT, I could see if you was my something and I'm just am helping out my female. She replies, to God who made me, I do really want to meet you honestly, but I don't really understand you do want me. Help me with $50. Now they're talking about $50. This is a bunch of bull. This is probably some foreigner. I don't know why this girl is posting this, but I guess she's saying he's out trying to meet other women, give them money. I don't know what the hell's going on. So then she replies, what about you? Then he says, just running a couple of errands. She says, oh, okay, to where? He says, how you doing? She says, good, and you? Then he says, I'm bored, laying at my house by myself, tired. I wish I had somebody to lay in bed with me. Thumbs up, he says. Then he says, I didn't mean to push that thumbs up. Then she says, honestly, I'm bored here also. I wish something to meet each other at this moment that would be so. What the hell is going on here? Then you go down to more stuff. They're still talking about this Cash App thing. And then she says, I wanted you to send me Cash App tag. He says, okay. Then she says that you're going to send money into hashtag 518TJ. Then he says, that's not a Cash App tag. Then she says, you the first one. So under that is Trust Company, $ 518TJ. Pay with Cash App. Then she says, send it here. But it shows an older white lady by the name of Claudia Hart. Payment to $ old woman 08. So I don't know who was being who, what this is about. What I'm going to say is it's nothing but street people. Street people around each other. And this is what happens when you hang with like minds. This Tabby Scott, are you the same girl that was in the car with Ayla and her 2 boys and Adam, November 29, 2019? Because if you are, and I'm reading your Facebook post, where is your baby? Because one of your posts, you're talking about your baby in foster care. You just said, our son foster mother, his social worker, Tara Starr, sent her nasty belly and PUSSY to him. What's that all about? 5 days ago, you posted again. When someone really wants to love you and you're good, bad, take all of it, take you away from all the hate, pain, and bad things in your life, you take the chance because when I'm with you, it's so effing really, I have been loved properly. And I feel if with you, I'm coming to get you, I won't stop till you hold you again. Makes no sense. You can't speak good English. Under one post, she says, I finally believe I'm worth being completely loved, and I'm finally smiling again. Thank you, I'm coming. I don't know what all this is about, but she's in some photographs with an African-American male. She looks young. Not a bad-looking white female. But I got a feeling you're probably the Tabitha Scott that was in the car with Kayla. And it looks like you just had a baby a year or so ago. But now you're talking about a foster mother. Lord have mercy. Evenly yoked, all these people. Tabitha Scott, who are you? What do you know about Harmony Montgomery? Why were you in the car with them, riding in the front seat? Because at this time, Adam and Kayla were married. So I'm trying to figure out, why would you be in the front seat of the passenger seat of the car? That's what the cop said. Unless he got it wrong. Got the order wrong. So then we'd have to say the cop was getting a whole lot wrong November 29th, 2019. Who are you and where are you? And are you this same Tabby Scott that I'm reading from Facebook? And why is your son in foster care? Are you the same Tabitha Scott that was in the car that fateful day? What do you know about these two? And what do you know about Harmony Montgomery? I'm curious. And if you want to find the queen, I'm right here. But what I read from your Facebook post, if you're indeed the same Tabitha Scott, you got a foul mouth and your mouth is nasty. And it looks like you probably going down the same road your two damn friends are going. Because they're both incarcerated. And they both don't have their children. And that's all I'm seeing with this case. A bunch of misfit, traumatic people, traumatized people who went and sought out more traumatized people. And now they're all incarcerated because of the death of a child. Murder, quite frankly. And ma'am, if you are the same Tabitha Scott, I hope you get yourself together if you ain't already got yourself together. If not, you're going to be headed down the same damn path. And I don't know if you use narcotics or you were using at that time, if you're the same Tabitha Scott, but I don't see nothing good coming out of nobody that hung around these people. That's just how I feel. That's my commentary, everybody. There's some lies still being told about Harmony Montgomery. And I don't think you're going to ever get to the truth, because now Adam has turned on Kayla to say she's the culprit. He's pled guilty to 2 charges, abuse of a corpse, and another charge. Let me say this, and I'm gonna get out of here. From what I just played pertaining to Kayla's testimony in court, that the child's face had dried blood the day that she allegedly got punched by the father and unalived. That means he's been abusing her before he punched her in the face to unalive her. So how do I know she wasn't already unalive while he was punching her? Seat bloody, face dried blood, and you got her riding around in a car as if nobody could ever see her, or y'all get out the car to go inside. At some point, these kids got to take a bath, wash up. You don't care about taking her outside the car with a bloody face. So that means, Kayla, you've been watching him beat on her. So you knew he was beating on her before y'all moved out that house that summer. DHS workers coming around. You playing crazy like, oh, I'm at work. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Oh, I tried to stop him, blah, blah, blah. But you rode the ride. You rode the donkey ride. And you still riding that donkey right now. And I'm going to tell you, honey, you might get out of penitentiary soon, but you're going to have a harder life than what you already been through. Because now you got to go out here and try to navigate around people, and people know your government name, and people know that you were there and watch him beat up this kid for no fucking reason. And how do we know you didn't help participate? Because you have no emotion when you're talking about Harmony Montgomery. You only cry and moan when you're talking about yourself and that nasty ass, bum ass baby daddy and your 2 children. But there's no emotion for her. And if you crying when you're talking about it, you're crying for yourself more than likely. You're hideous. So I'm not going to sit here and say you didn't help beat up the little girl. I ain't gonna never say that because I don't know you. And what I see, it's not good. It ain't good at all. And like I've told people, you may not have hit the little girl, but you rode the ride with the person that did. And you didn't do anything. And you stood idly by while he beat up a child before she was fatally unalive. Okay? So you're just as guilty as Adam Montgomery. So to me, they're the same. Beat the baby, watch the baby get beat. Evenly yoked. They're one and the same. And if he would beat her, unalive her, he would have done it to your other 3 children. And you knew that. And you still stayed with him any damn way. So you didn't even love your own. Because I keep trying to tell people about that preferential treatment. You're thinking, oh, they love this one better. They love this child more. Hate is hate. Hate is hate. You hate this child, you could easily hate this child. What's the difference? I got a feeling he just got that baby for financial reasons. You know, part of me wants to think that maybe he was wanting to have a part of her life and wanted to see her because Crystal was in and out this foster care system. But it seems like as soon as he got the kid, perhaps that's when the abuse started. Because in the end, he is a violent person. And then some people can say, well, you can still be violent over here and still try to be nice over here. But how do you work that out? You're punching and stabbing people over here, but then you're a good daddy over here. So it's a switch. Good today, bad tomorrow. Oh, I'll beat up Pookie Ray Ray, but I won't beat up my kids. But if you're violent, how do you turn the switch off? That's the point. I don't think you ever turn the switch off because you're beating up Kayla. You're beating up this little girl who you really weren't a part of her life. And then as soon as you got her, we don't know when you started beating her up, but it's obvious because now she's telling us you were beating her up days before the 29th of November. So that would lead me to think the child was probably already unalive. And then she's just making up something just for show. I don't know, but it ain't adding up because the cop's testimony says different. The little girl wasn't seen on the 29th of November. And you said that Adam took her life on December 7th, a week before. That's not adding up to what the cop said. So somebody's lying. And you've been lying. So that leads me to believe she didn't die on the 7th. She wasn't seen on the 29th. That means she probably wasn't seen Thanksgiving at your mother's. Who's to say she was already gone in October when the last social worker visit transpired? He didn't want to have to deal with them coming around anymore, dealing with them calling, didn't know if they was going to close the case, not close the case, because I can't tell if they close in October or not. But maybe he said, I don't want to deal with this no more. I don't want to worry about them coming around. Let's get rid of this kid. So maybe she's been gone since October. I don't know. But I could see how he would get rid of her in October. But it was definitely easy to get rid of her once they got evicted from the house, let's say that. Because now can't nobody keep tabs on them. Okay? Nobody can keep tabs. Because they're sleeping in a car. So on and so forth. Thank you for joining me. I'll be back later with more stimulating content and commentary pertaining to the subject matter. God bless all of you. Stay safe. Take the poll. I've got a lot of extensive content. So take the polls. Voice your opinion. I will post a movie after this live stream. God bless all of you. Like, share, subscribe. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution and not the problem. And if you'd like to donate to this great network, $, Angie. 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you guys later. You've been listening to the Vault Excel. Thank you.